Right. You know what I'm saying? But to get the live boxing talks going, couple of quick stories I wanted to talk about. Not sure if I wanted to do a whole relay video about them. The Gary Russell stuff is just ridiculous. And that's just him being in denial. That's just him being in denial. I wish Goody Iron Kong. Yeah, that's just him being in denial because the chickens have finally come home to roost. I don't know if it was Gary himself or his management that made the decision to keep him on the kind of schedule that he was on. But he has to have realized a very long time ago that Al Heyman wasn't going to get him the Leo Santa Cruz fight. He has to have known before he was offered the Josh Warrington fight. He should have figured it out by then that Al Heyman has no intention of making that fight. He protected Leo from Rigo, and he's protecting Leo from me. So I shouldn't sit on my hands waiting around for Al to make that fight. Really, I don't even know that I can trust Al because he seems to prioritize Leo's career more than mine. So if I'm Gary Russell, I do what I got to do to change my environment, change my decorum, and go somewhere where they're going to prioritize my career. And that's why I don't feel sorry for Gary Russell Jr., even if he was injured. I said it in my recap video. I can believe that he was injured because when you don't fight for 2 years, that kind of stuff is going to happen. Sitting idle is not the right thing to do for any kind of an athlete in any sport, sitting idle. You know, you're only taking away from your own ability to perform. So when he says that he was injured, yeah, I believe it, but I don't think that's an excuse. A lot of these guys go into fights with injuries. Vasyl Lomachenko went into the Teofimo Lopez fight with an injury, a shoulder injury, a nagging injury that he actually had to have worked on before. And I said it with him, it's not an excuse. If it's that bad and it impedes your ability to perform, call off the fight. I wish Goody heavy duty the man got robbed Gary, but nobody noticed Gary legs and calves. Hold up. Nobody noticed Gary legs and calves look like a man who wasn't working out. Gary did not prioritize his own career based on activity, but Gary said no rust. Yeah, it's all good before the fight, Drew. You know what I mean? It's always like that. It's always all good before the fight. It's always he's going to blast the guy out of there. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And when the chickens come home to roost, we know what to expect. A fuck ton of excuses because that's what it is. If you went into that fight injured and you knew that you were injured, and Gary did say on the Brian Custer podcast that he was injured. If it's that bad, then call off the fight. But if you're not going to call off the fight, don't tell us about the injury afterwards because, hey, you must have thought you could win. You know what I mean? It's silliness, man. It's silliness. And that's what the American boxing scene really has become, at least in one sector, that it's like, yo, dog, like a lot of this shit is just straight up goofy shit. You had to know that Al Heyman had no intention of giving you the Leo Santa Cruz fight. And you had to have known that for more than a year. You had to have known that for at least 3 years now, because at one point he was calling out Al Heyman himself that he feels Leo is being protected by Al. Okay, if you know that and you feel that way, what are you actually doing about it? What is your management actually doing about it? You know, the people that are supposed to be arguing on your behalf, what are they doing about it? Because from what I can see, you must have been very comfortable in that situation to maintain a schedule like that for so many years. And it only got worse over time. Hi, Jesse Quesada, what's good, Jay? Jay, what's up with the Nello decision and AJ step aside? I'm going to talk about that. Name me a fighter who goes to a fight. Exactly. If you've heard the stories from some of these fighters, they all go into a lot of fights with existing injuries. They all do, you know, and you know, the injury is only an issue when the guy loses. If the guy wins, then, oh, well, the injury wasn't an issue. But when the guy loses, oh, it's an issue. And it seems strange that he would announce that. It's almost like he was acquiescing to defeat preemptively because he said, oh, he's going into the fight with an injury and he doesn't want to say what it is. Okay, then, but then why tell people you're going into the fight with an injury and if you don't want to say what it is? It's silliness. It's silliness at the end of the day. It's all silliness. And I don't pity Gary because I feel that the featherweight division has suffered for it for a long time. It's a division that most people don't talk about. I do a video about the featherweight division, and it doesn't get the clicks that a video about, you know, a Canelo or even a Davis, even, you know, the lightweight division. I get more clicks for the lightweight division than I get for the featherweight division. And I firmly believe it's because the featherweight, nobody really high on the featherweights because nothing is popping there. Nothing is happening. Gary and Leo have been champions there for as long as I can remember. We know they're not unifying with each other, and we know they're not unifying with other people. So there are very few fights that were happening at that weight that people cared about and still care about. That's why it's like that. You can always tell by the metrics of a video, the reactions you see on Twitter, at least what are people talking about? What do they intend on watching? You can't always tell who's going to pay for something based on social media. But we know that there are no pay-per-view attractions at featherweight, so we don't have to worry about pay-per-view buys and things like that. The featherweight division has been dry for as long as I can remember. People don't talk about that weight class, and that's why you have 2 of the 4 champions who are not unifying with each other, and they are not unifying with the other fighters at this weight. So what is there to be excited about? I'm also afraid that the super bantamweight division could suffer a similar fate because there's 2 champions at that weight, but one is with Matchroom, one is with the PBC. I would like to see Stephen Fulton fight for Undisputed, but let's be real. Come on, man. I ain't talking about a Daniel Roman fight for no reason. PBC ruined 126 and 147. Glamour, yep, those are glamour weights. Those characteristically are divisions that normally get talked about, but the welterweight division, and it's the wildest shit because you have 2 blue chip prospects in the welterweight division. You have Virgil Ortiz, you have Jaron Ennis. You have a potential marquee attraction in Conor Benn. But the welterweight division is like, bro, y'all ain't gonna fight. Virgil ain't about to fight Boots. Boots would be lucky if he could fucking fight the winner of Ugas versus. He'll be lucky if he could fight Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? Like, I was goody Aaron Baker. Guys who weren't willing to take COVID pay cuts to stay active are now losing to the guys who promotional companies could afford to keep active. It shows the talent gap is not very far at the top. I would agree with you, Aaron, except that really applies to 2020 more than 2021. If you're being offered $1 million by Eddie Hearn and you see that Al Heyman doesn't have nothing going on for you in 2021, you should have took that $1 million. Now, supposedly, he was supposed to fight Ray Vargas, and what ended up happening? Ray Vargas ended up having a fight in 2021, but Gary Russell did not. Whose fault is that? Gary's management. These are the people that are accepting the things that are going on at the end of the day. The promoter has a promoter's best interest in mind, and the manager is supposed to have your best interest in mind. So whoever's managing Gary's career, whoever that is, if it's not Gary himself, he has them to blame and himself, because you get what you pay for, you fight for what you want to fight for. And if you didn't, to me, I put it on him because time and time again, Gary said that I'm not a PBC fighter. I just do business with them. I can go wherever I want, yada, yada, yada. He said that if Al Heyman didn't get him the Leo Santa Cruz fight, I believe this was in 2019, he said that if he don't get me that fight, I'm going to go to Top Rank and I'm going to try to get a Miguel Burchell fight. Bullshit. He said, oh, I'm in talks for a Devin Haney fight. Bullshit. He said, oh, what was the other shit? Oh, I'm going to move up and fight Terence Crawford. More bullshit. He said, oh, nobody wants to fight me. They offered you Josh Warrington. You didn't take it. Bullshit. It's like, bruh. That Top Rank card is David, Xander, and Rican Hype Job. Yeah, we're going to see how he look against Steve Rolls, man. I'm giving him, you know what I'm doing, Drew? This is what I'm going to say. Marquez lost his first pro fight. Bernard Hopkins lost his first pro fight. So on that premise, this kid is allowed to look like shit at least once, and we give them a second chance because, hey, those guys lost their first professional fights, but they rebounded off of that. At most, we can say that, yo, he looked like shit with Coceres, and I agree, he looked like shit. So there's definitely things that need to be worked on, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to jump on him now. If he looked like shit with Steve Rolls, all right, then I can't say shit. I predicted Magsayo was going to beat Russell since the fight was first made, and with his weight problems and shit in the buildup, I was certain of it. The writing was on the wall, Napoli. The writing was on the wall. And in case people haven't noticed, inactivity has been affecting a lot of fighters. It's not just Gary Russell Jr. You know, Josh Warrington was out for a year before Lara beat the shit out of him. Kansu was out for a year before he got his fucking ass kicked. That inactivity shit ain't no joke. Conor Benn is very marketable globally as he speaks Spanish, so he can relate to Hispanic fight fans, and his family live in Australia, so will do well in that market and already established in the UK. That's right. And, you know, I took a particular stance when it came to Conor Benn and David Avanesian because, honestly, I like that fight. I would like to see that fight. I think that's a good fight. But I understand if Eddie isn't in no hurry to do Frank Warren any favors because Frank Warren is not in no hurry to do him any favors. Where Eddie don't feel like making Ben versus Avanesian, Frank don't feel like making Yard versus Buatsi. It is what it is, tit for tat. If you're going to call it down the middle, you can't get mad at either of them because they're playing the same game. They are. You got little Charlo ducking Tim Tszyu turning down $10 million. Nah, you know why I don't say that? Because he about to fight for Undisputed, so that don't really make sense. He about to fight Brian Castano again, so I can't say that you ducking Tim Tszyu to fight for Undisputed. That doesn't make sense. I would sooner say that about someone else. Like you know, they offered Tony Harrison a fight, and he didn't take the fight. And now he doesn't have a fight. So I would say that about Tony more than I would say that about Jermell. Jermell is about to fight for Undisputed. How can I accuse him of ducking if he's fighting for Undisputed? It's a lot of stupid shit, man. And then I see that the Tyson Fury bullshit. He's calling out Francis Ngannou, right? And like literally after the fight, right after the fight, he starts calling out Francis Ngannou. And I'm like, yo, you really calling out an MMA fighter when you supposed to be negotiating a fight with a boxer? Mr. I don't care about money. Mr. I'm a fighting man and all that bullshit. And I'm like, look, ain't nothing wrong with getting money. It's a cash grab. I am not a fan of crossover fights because I feel like it's insulting to the sport. Like if you an MMA guy, do your MMA shit. If you a boxer, do your boxer shit. If you get together to do something, it can only be for a cash grab because a serious crossover cannot be Ngannou versus Fury. Ngannou is not ready for Fury, all right? If it's a serious crossover, it'll be like when Holly crossed over to MMA. You take time. You build yourself up before you fight for a title. You just don't go in there and fight one of the top dudes. It don't work like that. If you do that, it's a cash grab. And that's what that is. That's a cash grab. So it's very rich for me to see Fury that says, I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. Then why you doing all them TV spots? I don't care about money. Then why you calling out an MMA fighter? Shit is wild. Like, bro, if you don't care, like, bro, who you trying to kid that you don't care about money, man? Come on now. We all care about money, man. Just be upfront with the shit. Because you're not upfront with the shit, you give people that to criticize. Now, as far as Gary, I don't know. Maybe they feed him to Gervonta Davis. You know what I mean? Maybe he goes up to 130. Maybe he fights Chris Colbert. I don't know. And I don't care. To be honest. I don't fucking know. And I don't fucking care. He can retire for all I care. Yeah, and I'm not, this is the funny shit. I'm not mad at that. When Floyd was going to fight Conor, I said, I'm not mad at that, dog. Like, get your money. You know what I mean? I don't like crossover fights because you know what it's gonna be. You know what it's gonna be. If Ngannou fights Fury, bro, you know what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. You know that. That's why I'm not a fan of them shits. But at the end of the day, hey, if you could get money doing that shit, get money. Why not? You know what I mean? It's just don't front. I don't care. But yeah, right, you don't care about money, bro. Then why the fuck you haggling with Dillian White if you don't care about money? If you don't care about money, give him 35%, $7 million up front, and do the fucking fight. What I see is you got more energy for an MMA fighter than you got for Dillian White because you don't want that fight. Motherfuckers not gonna convince me of no bullshit. They want to elevate Fury to deity status for beating the same guy two times over the course of 3 years. Come get the fuck out of here, man. You fucking wildin'. I agree, Drew. I agree. Because there's no place on earth where Fury versus Hellenius is a hot ticket, where Fury versus Shaw is a hot ticket. There's no place on earth. I've had so many arguments and so many discussions, and I'm like, yo, dog, where the fuck on earth, on planet Earth, where in this universe is Fury versus Hellenius a hot ticket? Or Fury versus Ruiz, the max, and I'm being generous, maybe 400,000 bars, maybe. That shit could be a 300,000 bar fight. The idea that because he did what he did with Wilder, that he going to do, you wilding, bro. He not a draw like that. Not even in the UK. He not a draw like that. He can't fight any old body and draw. I mean, in Finland, yeah, you're going to draw a couple of Finnish people. How much money does the fight make in Finland, Mark? That's real shit. That's real motherfucking shit. Jerry Forrest will fuck around and knock out Ngannou, man. So if you calling out a dude like that, it's obviously a cash grab. And I'm not mad. Grab the cash. But don't hit me with the, yeah, I don't care about money. I don't really care about, fuck out of here. You don't care about money. Fuck you trying to kid. He is, bro. He is. He's a walking, talking, boxing contradiction. He's just a contradiction. And a lot of that shit going on at heavyweight, it's getting boring. The fact that we don't know the date for Joshua Usyk, we don't know the date for Fury White, we don't know nothing, it's fucking boring, bro. I was hyped for Yoka versus Hrgovic. Now we not going to get that fucking shit. It's like, yo, what the fuck fight at heavyweight is we looking forward to right now? I really want to know. Because it's like everything we was looking forward to is getting fucked up for one reason or another. What I will say is I'm going to watch Tony Yoka versus Martin Bacol because I think Tony probably going to beat the shit out of him now. Like, bro, I was trying to get in this eliminator and you fucked that up. So now I have to fuck you up. Gotta fuck you up. Got a divorce last year. You fucked up my IBF eliminator. I'm going to take it all out on you, bro. The difference between Fury and Ngannou and Floyd and Conor is the fact that Floyd was a retired boxer, whereas Fury is supposed. That's what I mean, bro. It looks weird that you're in the middle of negotiations, supposedly, for Dillian White, but you're calling out an MMA fighter. So you tell me, where does the Ngannou fight happen? What, you fight Ngannou before White or after White? Or do you not fight White at all? What, are you going to try to squeeze him in between now and the undisputed title fight? Which fucking fight are you after? Because it's Fury himself that's calling him out. You feel me? It's Fury himself. It ain't like it's another motherfucker. It's Fury on his own social media that keeps putting energy. You don't have that energy for Dillian White. I don't give a shit when, he'll knock him. Let the motherfucker go in there and knock him out then. Let him knock him out. I don't see what the problem is. If it's as easy as everybody says it is, and I'm not even saying that it's not, make the fight. Just make the fight, bro. Yeah, pull check. We got the shit with the Chocolatito fight. Shit is irritating, bro. It's irritating, man. But at least the Zone has a comprehensive schedule of fights for the month of February. Sky Sports has a comprehensive schedule of fights also. Eubank versus Williams, Khan versus Brook. So, we got that shit. We got that fucking shit. Taylor versus Catterall. But it's a lot of shit, yo. Hey, what's good, Mark?
Hello, how are you?
Annoyed. Chocolatito, Estrada, and I read the fucking story, and I'm like, bro, you either have COVID or you don't. And you're not saying you have COVID. You're saying, I don't like how I'm performing in camp, so I want to postpone the fight.
Do you know what I think he's saying, Julius? You know what I think he's saying? Julius, do you remember when we watched that fight, all of us, right? Do you remember what we saw, bro? He doesn't want to go through that again, bro.
I don't think
He don't want to get whooped again because he knows he got whooped.
I don't think he does. I think he knows he got beat, and I think that fight took something out of him. And motherfuckers like, hey, listen, I don't agree with the judges all the time. But I'm being real. You can't say that, oh, I don't like how I'm performing in camp, so I want to post. How does that work, bro? Do you have a medical diagnosis that shows that something is wrong with you? If you do, then cool. If you do. But if you don't, you can. And I read the Spanish article from ESPN Mexico. I'm like, yo, there's no diagnosis in there. All you is you don't feel like you up to scratch and you want to delay the fight.
Does it sound like he's coming across a little bit scared?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, yo, you don't want that fight. Gentlemen.
I think he's scared to I think he's scared of losing the big paydays.
Good evening,
Not
fellas.
necessarily.
All right, one at a time, fellas. Go ahead, Drew.
I think Fury's just scared of losing the paydays.
Yeah, but see, it's obvious that he's scared of losing the paydays. I get that. But when you talk all that fucking shit about how you don't care about fame and you don't care about, bro, you are such a fucking phony, bro.
Oh yeah, I've been over Fury since the Klitschko fight. He's not a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have a Hall of Fame resume.
Well, I'll tell you what, Drew. He'll probably get in the Hall of Fame just because he did a $19 million gate with Wilder. He could get in the Hall for that.
I know, and I wish the Hall of Fame had ring IQ pound for pound standards.
Look, boxing don't have ring IQ fucking standards, bro. Look, how is Spence a pound for pound fighter? I cannot get over.
Don't get me started on this again, Jake. You know how pissed that made me when he got fucking put in there ahead of Rungvisai after Rungvisai beat the pound for pound number one, but he beats Kell Brook and apparently he's above Rungvisai. What the fuck?
Rungvisai after the second rematch fight with Chocolatito should have been on the list.
Yep.
He was on the list, but he was below Spence. Spence came in off of a win over Kell Brook. But Spence went above Rungvisai after 2 wins over Choco, who they called number one.
That's why I'm hoping. Listen, that's why I'm hoping that Ugas fucks it up for all of us, for everybody. Because I'm like, yo, you know what? Ugas punched this man in that. I just fuck it up, bro. Fuck it, because Spence got to go. That whole cycle of
Ugas.
They gotta go, bro. That whole cycle of welterweights has to go.
I tweeted it last night. That whole cycle of PBC guys from 30 and up. Maybe Russell started. Gotta go. Russell, Spence.
There's no question that
the Charlo brothers, all these guys, Thurman, Danny. Who the fuck wants to see Danny Garcia at 54?
Nobody. Unless he's gonna get his ass beat. Nobody.
Well, I know that's what Jules wants to see. Just a knockout.
I want to see him get his ass beat.
Danny's gonna get ran over at 154.
Wait, Napoli.
Danny Garcia,
wait. That's if he fights someone, bro. You think he gonna fight someone?
Nope. Yeah, that's a big if.
This is how bad I want Danny Garcia to get knocked out. If he were to agree to fight Boots Ennis, I would say, Danny, I will buy fucking $100 worth of your clothes on your fucking website. If
don't waste that money on that shit. Yo,
that'd be worth to see him get knocked out, Jules.
That dude made a motherfucking two-tone. He made a two-tone suit out of gift wrapping paper.
He made a two-face suit like Batman.
I'm like, yo, on what fucking block is this a good idea? Like, is that some Philly shit? Because they don't do that shit on my block.
That's some Philly shit.
Is that some Philly shit? Like, I'm gonna really wear a two-tone suit like I'm Harvey Dent. What kind of corny? And this is foul. Be like I said, that crop of guys, they need to go. They need all of them. Leo, Danny, Thurn, all of them. Get out of here, B. Get out of here.
It's just a matter of time.
It's taking too fucking long, man.
That and all the politics that goes along with all of them too, man. I mean, sheesh.
And that's what's hurting the sport, man. These champions holding up fights. That's
And
exactly
I'll
what's
tell
hurting the
you
sport.
this. And I'll tell you this. Jaron Boots Ennis, Al Heyman is gonna keep his fighters away from Boots Ennis unless he has Ennis sign a fucking exclusive deal.
It's the only
That's
way.
the only way.
It's the only
I'm
way.
gonna tell you
And
something. All the
that's
fighters,
sad.
all the promoters are gonna keep Boots away from their guy until he signs them with them. Eddie
Yeah,
and
that's
Golden
a
Boy.
multi-fight deal with them. Other
This
than
is-
that, Ennis is hit.
This is what I think
So wait,
Ennis should
are
do.
you
This is
saying
hold on. This is what I think Ennis should do. If Ennis, once that promotional situation with Showtime is over, right? This is what I honestly believe he should do. Don't go to Al Heyman, right? Fuck him and his welterweights, because even if you go with him, you don't know that they'll fight you. What you need to do is go with Eddie so that you can force mandatory situations and purse bids. In a purse bid situation, he has the money to force these guys to vacate.
That's a smart career decision. Yeah, I'd never thought of that, but yeah, that's definitely a smart career
Yeah,
decision.
that is
Listen,
Jules,
everybody.
Hold on.
Hold on. Everybody acting like, oh, well, if you sign with Al, you gonna have, bro. Gary been waiting on Leo for how long, bro? Signing with Al don't mean shit, bro.
In other words, Boots is the new Crawford, right?
Man, listen, man, he ain't even gonna get to beat Crawford because they ain't gonna fight him. Not unless they ain't gonna fight him, bro. Like, you think he gonna get a Thurman fight?
The way it's looking, fellas, like just the way the scene's changing in America, it would make more sense for Boots to go with Eddie, and Eddie keeps him active over there in the UK. Like, he's gonna keep Alicia active, build his profile, because American fans ain't buying shit.
I mean, that's the other thing, that like the American box. Well, I'll say this, just one sector of it, because we do have promising guys. I always come back to that.
Yes.
That we do have promising guys. It's just that those guys unofficially became the face of American boxing. For the most part, they did. The guys at the PBC, they unofficially became the face for, I'll say, the last 5 years. They were the face of the welterweight division. Wilder was one of the faces in the heavyweight division, you know what I mean? And now, thankfully, I see that crop is dying out. It is, because Wilder, I think Wilder finna retire and do movies, honestly. I think he probably gonna do that motherfucking Creed movie. Fuck around. He probably gonna do that, because it's like, bro, what you gonna come back for? Are you really gonna? You can make money with Andy Ruiz, right? It's not even that fight wouldn't do numbers, because it would, but not the same numbers as the Fury fight. Certainly not the numbers you would have did with Anthony Joshua. Certainly not.
Yeah.
He's not gonna fight Big Baby Miller in a passing of the torch fight either.
Bro, who the fuck gonna pat, bro? Motherfuckers need to pass him the Clenbuterol, because that's a fat motherfucker, B.
I meant Anderson.
I thought
you know who I meant.
He got the
real big baby.
The new one.
The real Big Baby. The new one.
I was about to say, I'm
The
like,
real
Big
Jared
Baby
Anderson.
Miller. You know, Kevin Cunningham is training him now.
He's training Anderson or
No, he traded Miller. He traded Miller.
I had to mute fucking Kevin Cunningham last night on Twitter saying, "Why is there no buzz for one of the greatest fighters alive?" Fuck out of here, bro.
What fighter? What fighter?
Gary Russell.
Come see this.
There's a certain sector, and they're mostly based on the East Coast and Midwest, of fighters and trainers that think the world still revolves around American fighters. You know what the shit is? I'm gonna say this. This is from the heart, right? Gary is one of those fighters like Keith Thurman that I am genuinely pissed off at, because there was a time when I was a fan of this guy. Like, there was a time.
Same here. I love Keith Thurman. I loved him.
There was a time when I would have picked Gary to beat every featherweight in the world. But you fucked up your own fucking career, bro. Like, can't nobody sit here and play you a violin. Who the fuck is gonna be a fan of you when you fight once a year for 6 years, bro? Who?
Exactly. That's the biggest thing. Who? It's crazy to even think about. How are you gonna do that to yourself and then start blaming other people when you get beat. That's
Yeah,
fucking
The man said
incredible.
$1 million was a slap in the face.
If
Oh my
Canelo Alvarez, who can afford to fight once and take the rest of the year off, if he keeps a busier schedule than you, something is wrong. Because you need to be busier than him so you can get to where he is at. So you can start making the kind of money that he make. You got it backwards, sitting around doing interviews, expecting people to feel sorry for you. Like that, bro, that shit. What?
I think what
And Al Heyman knows, like Jules, you said it. Al Heyman's banking that Leo wins that fight on the Thurman card, and they're gonna reignite that Mexico-Filipino rivalry with Leo and what's his name that won yesterday.
Yeah, but ain't no
What I'm saying,
guarantee.
like Gary, like it's not. You knew this, Gary. Like no one feels sorry. You've known this for years that Al ain't fucking with you like that.
The other shit is though that all right, you got Mixayo, potential Filipino superstar, potentially. Y'all motherfuckers over there don't know nothing about grooming no fighters. Y'all probably gonna have him fighting once a year. Goofy bastards over there. Like, bruh. Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah.
the thing about these PVC guys saying, "Oh no, I am my own boss." They think that I think at what point they think they're that is actually fact, but these are fighters. They are not managers. They don't know people like that. So if you say you are the boss, okay, but you are not going to talk about promotional deals with managers on networks. You have people for that, and these guys realize at some point, oh, my guys, the ones they're supposed to do the big fight for me, they don't do it.
Yeah, but
One
this,
time and time again, and then they need to save face and say, oh no, this is was part of the all the plan.
but
But no,
this is what I'm gonna say. Let me say this. If Danny Jacobs found a way out, and most people forget that Artur Better Beef also found a way out. He was a PBC guy when Yvonne Michelle was doing a lot of business with them. He was fighting on PBC cards.
Yep.
If they found a way out, it's because those guys wanted to fight. When I read the complaint that Artur Better Beef filed against Yvonne Michelle, he said, well, basically, I wanted to fight 4 times a year, and he was not delivering me those fights. He eventually got out of all of that. You know what I mean? So to me, it still boils down on the fighter that, like, yo, dog, you even want to get out of that shit or you don't. You happy fighting once a year. You cool with that. So I don't feel sorry for you when shit goes, because Americans don't watch featherweights, bro. First and foremost, they don't. So you already playing with a handicap right then and there. Then you fighting once a year, bro. Who the fuck is gonna be checking for you on a schedule like that?
If you're fighting once a year as a professional boxer, your priorities are messed up. Period.
Yeah.
And I found it kind of awkward too that Better Be fought on an Yvonne Michelle card for the Marcus Brown fight. I'm like, didn't they had a falling out? I'm like, now they're
Well, I mean, the situation has changed for Yvonne Michelle, where he was doing a lot of business with the PBC before. He's now doing a lot of business with Top Rank, and Better Beef's a top ranked fighter, so that's their liaison in Canada. So I mean, it's awkward, but that's the situation. But if Better Beef, who has a language barrier, could find a way out, right? These English speaking motherfuckers, like, bro, you could, if you wanted to find a way out, you'd have found a way out.
You can, there is. It's just that they don't have the balls to want to take that way out.
What kills me is, man, look, that's your career, and fuck your career. Why are people expecting me to feel sorry for Gary? He got robbed. Bullshit, he got robbed, bro.
No, he didn't.
Quit
10 rounds to 2. Like, what the hell are these? What the hell is he smoking? You know what I'm saying?
No, fuck him. It's the guilt trips that kill him. Like, fuck him. He let him be in denial. He gonna be in denial because of pride and whatever. It's the social media shit that I see. Oh, you really want people to believe that this man got robbed?
Just as bad. They're just as bad. Yeah.
And that's why he jumps on and does that, because casual people who just watch his live or follow him for a certain reason will see that and be like, yo, he probably did get robbed. Someone that didn't even see the fight. You know, and that's where he starts pulling all this out. And a lot of fighters do that. They go on social media and they start hyping themselves so much that people don't even watch the fight. They just watch their lives and automatically agree with them.
And I'm gonna say, if these are the same people that said, and I maintain the same energy throughout. I don't like it doesn't change. I did not view Vasyl Lomachenko's shoulder situation as an excuse. Now these people, they didn't view it as an excuse either. That's what they said when Lomachenko lost to Lopez. So why are you telling me about Gary's shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you like if it wasn't an excuse for Loma, don't try to use it as an excuse for Gary. How the fuck does that work?
Exactly.
The thing is, you have some people sitting there saying he won a one-handed boxing clinic.
Bro, yo, I'm country. I'm glad you said that because let me tell you something.
That
And
blew me away.
let me tell you something. Me and Drew,
fight on his way to a clinic.
Me and Drew talk about this shit all the time. If you think that slick shit is boxing, you don't know shit about boxing. You probably started watching boxing when Mayweather was around, and that's why you're obsessed with the slick shit. The slick shit is only one base style in boxing. There are 3 base styles in boxing. You stupid motherfuckers don't know that. You obsessed with the slick shit. Well, did the slick shit when Rigo to Casemiro fight? Did the slick shit work?
Nope.
That was a horrible fight, man.
Julius,
It goes back to that tribalism, that affinity for just, oh, my guy looked like me, so I'm going. He got robbed. When
Yeah, but the
nobody
and
the pain boxing fan is smart and knows like Gary, shut up, the fuck out of here.
Now listen, the thing is that this is what kills me. You do realize, right, that there are pressure fighters of all colors, shapes, and sizes. What was Joe Frazier? A pressure fighter. What was Muhammad Ali? A pure boxer. What was George Foreman? A boxer puncher. These base styles exist in every group. They exist in Latino fighters, black fighters, white fighters, Eastern Euros, Asians. But these motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing, so they have immediately attached Floyd's style to every fighter. Because it's all about it. It is literally all about Floyd. Like, oh, because he's
but even
nail on
Floyd
the head
will
right
make
there,
him
Jules.
miss and
When
make him
every
pay.
great fighter has elements of slickness in his game. Go watch Chavez fights when he's leaning on the ropes and his head movements moving, dodging, bobbing, weaving.
What kills me
Every
is
fighter that's great has elements of slickness to his game.
what kills me is that
watch Sweet Pea, my man, when like he'll stay in the pocket, make his opponent miss, and then make him pay with like a 5-punch combination.
yeah, but all I'm saying is Mayweather is not the template for every fucking boxer. Get that fucking shit out your head. Go watch some Sugar Ray Robinson, all right? Watch that shit, all right? Watch some Sugar Ray Leonard, all right? All this I'ma lay off and pot shot. And bro, every boxing match ain't gotta look like that. And I'm sorry to tell you, but if you do that shit often enough, I think Mayweather fooled these guys into thinking that going to the cards is a good idea. It's not a good idea, bro. All right. It's like you better off trying to knock the motherfucker out than going to a decision. Honest to God, you better off.
And when you're not the cash, and when you're not the cash cow, and when you're not the A-side fighter on that card, that slick shit ain't working.
No. Floyd Mayweather was out punching all these guys.
He was literally.
He would of course get out of the way of the punches, but he would land the punches that he needed to win the round.
But what I mean is basically they're using Floyd and his base style as the template for all, and it doesn't work like that, bro. It like literally it does not work like that. The bullshit. Did Charlo look slick with Montiel? Did he look slick? Did Lara look slick with Jared Hurd? Did he look slick with Brian Castano? Get that Mayweather. Like, I like Floyd.
Did he
Everybody
look
know
slick
that.
with Pedro Angulo?
I like Floyd. Everybody know that. But I could tell that a lot of these cats probably started watching boxing circa 2014, 2015 because they think that Floyd's style is the only style in boxing. And there are no other styles.
Yep.
When they don't realize Floyd's style, none of his fights cracked the all-time great fights.
And Floyd's style, it was after his hands were all fucked up, right? That's why
And
he
that's
had to be
but
that
that's
fighter.
that's the only that's the only Floyd they know. They wasn't around to watch the Chico Corrales fight. I know that. Like everything they say, everything I be hearing, seeing guys say on Twitter or see guys say on YouTube, you got secondhand information. You didn't watch those. Like I
Jules,
watched
they didn't
those
even
fights.
buy Floyd fights until the Oscar De La Hoya fight.
Probably
That's when they started watching him.
And
listen.
most dudes aren't buying
Because
fights
if that's the
now.
case, they didn't watch Prime Roy Jones Jr.
Yep.
Nah, bro, they wasn't around for that. They wasn't around for that. Look, this is what I'm gonna say, right? This is what I'm trying to get across, right? Expand your fucking horizons, all right? Because boxing didn't start with fucking Floyd. Jesus Christ.
Even Calzaghe was slick, man. That dude was hella slick.
These motherfuckers killed me with this like, bro, the slick boxer, like, bro, do you know how many slick boxers be getting a fucking ass beat? Fucking wildin', bro.
My favorite slick boxer all time is Purnell. If I wanted to, like, I had a choice to watch a Floyd fight or a Purnell, I'd rather watch Purnell.
I'd rather watch Tony. I'm gonna keep it real with you because
Or
Tony gonna
Tony,
try to hurt
Oh
you.
yeah, Tony.
Because Tony gonna try to hurt you, and I mean, like, I think me and Drew are of the same mindset that, like, yo, dog, we watch this shit to see somebody get their ass beat. Tony,
Yeah, no. If I want to see Tony because he's gonna try to win. If I want to see Baryshnikov ballet, I'm putting on Sweet Pea.
Yeah,
because it was Sweet Pea was like Bruce Lee said, be like water. And it was just magic to watch him move.
And Sweet Pea was a Capricorn. And Sweet Pea was a Capricorn, by the way. I'm just throwing that in there.
Tony was full of surprises, man. He'd jack you up out of nowhere. I love
if James Tony had Floyd Mayweather's discipline, he'd be a top 5 fighter all time.
Yeah. Tony did have discipline issues. Let me read the super chat. AJ risks a lot fighting top 10 guys back to back. I agree with that. Most guys don't want to take those risks. Ricardo Lopez says, I just came onto the live stream, but I still appreciate a great boxing channel. Thank you. I appreciate that, Ricardo. And yeah, man, it's like the shit that kills me is they immediately write off all these other fighters so that a Bouts will beat the shit out of a Jamal James. Like, I bet you thought Jamal James was going to win that fight, didn't you? Because of I bet you thought that because you don't think that pressure busts pipes. You don't realize a good pressure fighter makes the whole division interesting. These days, I love a good pressure fighter because there aren't that many guys that's going to go in there and fight and make it a fight. Because outside of that, the pure boxers, like a Billy Joe Saunders versus Demetrius Andrade fight, right? That's a fight that looks good on paper. But if you actually made that fight, that would be one of the all-time most boring fights in the history of boring fights. It'd be like Bartholomew versus Easter. Pure boxers tend to be boring, I'm sorry to say. Most of the time they do. Boxer punches are a little bit more fun. Your boxer punches are Pretty Boy Floyd, when he was Pretty Boy, Cotto, Canelo. And boxer punches are a little bit more fun. But pure boxers, more often than not, they're fucking boring, bro. They are fucking boring. I'm sorry to say, and nobody wants to see that shit. Sorry to say.
So what do you guys think about Teo, the rumor about Teo getting trained possibly by Eddie Reynoso? I think it's a great move if he does.
I mean, look, he needs something different. His father, I think he's gone about as far as he can go with just his father.
Yep.
I think, and let's see if the only thing I have about it is if Reynoso's going to say, no, your dad can't be in here like that. We run a tight ship over here.
No, I mean, look, it's like you don't have to kick your father completely to the curb. But if you were Team Reynoso, you were Team Reynoso, bro. Don't end up like fucking Luis Neri, bro. It ain't last, bro.
But you know,
because Eddie don't play that
toxic,
shit of running into the camp hella loud. Eddie don't play that loud shit.
Yeah, no.
We were here to work.
Got to put the father in check.
And that's hard to do with a toxic person like Teo Senior, man. I mean, look at Ryan Garcia. It looks like he's about to be booted out of there because of all the shit he's be doing. He's posting up videos of him punching people in the stomach and shit like that. Like
Teo Senior is on some corny ass, early 90s ass East Coast shit. Like he an early 90s East Coast cat. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, bro.
He's
Yeah,
another Angel Garcia.
Hey, he's worse than Angel. Angel wasn't saying DAZN robbed us and all this other delusional shit after a loss. Like Tio Senior was taking pictures the day of the fight, before the fight at the Garden, but Cambosa's with fans, like a meet and greet hours before the fight.
The shit is that Tio Senior. See, I don't even think Angel was guilty of this. Tio Senior is living through Tio Junior. And I never really got that vibe with Angel. I just got the vibe with Angel. They're like, yo, shut the fuck up. With Tio Senior, it's like, yo, my God, like, chill. You not the fighter. Chill, bro. Your son is the fighter. Chill. Like, we ain't gonna, like, bro, you ain't fighting shit. Your son is fighting, bro.
He's like one of those girlfriends that gets you in trouble when you like she just wilding and you're like, bro, just shut up. You're gonna get me into some beef.
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
right,
Get me into
Jules.
some shit.
All Angel Garcia said was, we gonna take the easiest fights for the most money. Fuck it.
And that's what and really that's what they did for the most part. And they lost all the significant fights, which is y'all know how I feel about Danny Garcia. Like, I can't stress that shit enough. But look, if he goes with Eddie, that's a good move. If he goes with Joey Gamache, that's also a good move. Joey helped him for, I think it was Comey and Lomachenko. So hey, but he does need something different, and that's just the fact.
I was thinking, how about Teo with Buddy McGirt?
Buddy got a full plate, but I mean, he could go with him. I don't see what.
Or Joe Goosen. I don't hear
to,
much of Joe Goosen.
Yeah, no, Tio just needs to be with an elite trainer. A trainer with a proven pedigree of training fighters. None of these father-son duos have that, with the exception of Papachenko. What Jules?
Joe
Correct me
Goosen
if I'm
is
wrong.
one of those
trainers that train their sons also have other champions historically?
Not a lot, bro. Not a
Yeah,
lot.
Kazaki's dad.
Listen, father-son duos is like, it's like kind of like you're doomed to fail, because you're gonna hit a wall. You are gonna hit a wall. It always happens. Look at every father-son duo that's out there. They all end up hitting a wall. All of them.
With the
It happened
exception of
with
Lomachenko.
Mosley for a time.
Yeah, but Papachenko groomed that kid into the fighter he is from like he was born. It's not.
And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Papachenko has the experience with the Ukrainian.
That's what I was gonna say. That I don't use him as the example, because not every father and son duo has a guy that filled the role in the amateurs that Lomachenko's dad did. They're like, yo, this dude wasn't just training Loma; he was literally training other kids and shit like that. So it's not like he was just training him.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't like the overstate Lomachenko shit, because the prophecy I said is happening, bro. That dude is not gonna be around a long time. He's not gonna have a Pacquiao career. I remember 3 years ago they was thinking he gonna have a Pacquiao career. I'm like, nah, he ain't one of those, bro. He don't got the body for that shit. His shoulders mad little.
Yeah, he don't got the body, and he turned pro too late.
Real shit. All them amateur standouts that you spent 2 cycles in the amateurs, your pro career is gonna be real fucking short.
Yeah, but if Lomachenko wants to last more, he needs to drop down one weight class.
That's what I was saying. Like, he should go back down to 130 and finish his career there.
He could beat all the super featherweights right now, but I do feel that Shakur is going to be the one that gets him. Not yet, though.
Not right now.
Not right now, but that's going to be the one that gets him.
Shakur beats him.
That'll be a very interesting fight. That would be very interesting.
Shakur is big for super featherweight, and they're moving him real good. Like this, if you look at Shakur, he didn't spend a lot of time at 126. You know, like he didn't spend a lot of time. They're like, I got a belt, time to go up. And he gonna keep, and that's how you gotta move him. Whereas when I look at Devin, I'm like, yo, Devin been at lightweight too long, bro. If George ain't next, fuck it, chuck the belt and move up, because you gotta put your health first. Before these paydays and all this bullshit, you gotta put your health first. And I see that his punch resistance is waning.
That's just what I was gonna say. Like, you made a point about Devin Haney's punch resistance because of him like struggling to make lightweight, and that has a lot to do with it. He should move up.
If George ain't next, he should move up. That's how I feel. If
George
is not the next fight
for that damn fight to get made.
I don't know, but I keep hearing rumors and shit that like people from Matchroom is going to Australia and they trying to work it out. So I mean, let's see if they do it. But just if it ain't next, move up. Period. There's nothing for you at lightweight. You're not gonna get a Gervonta Davis fight. You're not gonna get a Ryan Garcia fight. You know that. Fucking Ryan more interested in fighting Isaac Cruz, B. So that should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Real shit.
But like you said, they moving Shakur right and Keyshawn right, and I don't see no racial bias right there.
Look, that whole case, listen, that whole case, I'm gonna say this, right? What irritates me about the case, never mind Bob Arum, fuck him, because he's a fuck Arum, right? The shit is that because of the case, people are really trying to act like Crawford finds himself in this predicament because of Bob, and that's what kills me. They're like, yo, dog, it wasn't Bob that froze him out. I'm sorry if that bothers you and whatever you, but Bob ain't the one that deprived him of fights, bro.
Because when they say that, they're the same ones that said, well, Errol's taking the easy way. Why not? Like, he got to finish up his stuff on his side.
What kills me about this shit is that they'll say, and they firmly believe this a lot. I've seen it ever since the case got off the ground that, oh, Bob killed the Pacquiao fight. You do understand that Bob Arum offered Danny Garcia the Pacquiao fight. He offered Adrian Broner the Pacquiao fight. Before Manny left Top Rank, he offered them the fight. You think he wasn't trying to get it for Crawford when Freddie Roach himself said in 2016 and 2017 that, yo, Bob Arum is pushing for the fight. And as if it's make or break to Crawford's career to fight Manny. Let me tell you something. Jeff Horn fought Manny, didn't he? Did he become the superstar and all that extra shit? No. Why? Because Crawford kicked his ass. So stop blaming it on Bob and Manny. Crawford's career does not boil down to Bob and Manny. In reality, it boils down to Spence, Thurman, and Danny and Sean. That's what his career. That's
and the PBC.
And the PBC. When he was going to move up to welterweight, before we realized that this was going to become what it became, those were the people that, like, yeah, we want to see him fight those guys. You know, I want to see Crawford versus Thurman and all that shit.
Okay, I want to say this. I'm going to say it as many times as it is necessary. Look, Bob Arum cannot force PBC to make the fights. And PBC doesn't have the obligation to give Terence Crawford the fight that he wants. Mm-hmm. But what they did, that disgusting thing that they did, is lied about Terence Crawford.
Yes.
They did everything in their power to diminish Terence Crawford and his accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's all this world title, him being undisputed, him being a WBO champion, all of that, PBC said that is garbage. In every media.
You're definitely right, Leo. You're definitely right.
Now, peep this shit, Leo. Peep this shit. In a few weeks, Gary Antoine Russell, the younger brother of Gary Russell, he's going to be fighting Victor Postol. Victor Postol, who has been out a year or maybe a little over a year. Victor Postol, who Terence Crawford handled easy. And if Gary goes in there and he beats the fuck out of Postol worse than Jose Ramirez, these guys going to say he's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, why ain't Crawford the best thing since sliced bread if you beat him first?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The shit don't make like I'm like, yo, I never seen nobody, not Josh Taylor, not Jose Ramirez, not nobody handle Victor Postol easy. Only Crawford, right? Now let's sit now because Victor's in a bad way. He's coming off a loss and he hasn't fought in a while. Gary probably gonna beat the shit out of him. He probably is, but better still, how you gonna be high on Gary for beating the shit out of a guy that Crawford beat years ago? And when he beat him easy. The fight wasn't hard to score, man. Beat the shit out of the dude. This is the stupid shit. This is the stupid shit that fucked up Crawford's career. That's stupid shit. Not Bob Arum. Not Bob Arum, bro. That stupid shit is what fucked up his career.
Yep. Who'd he beat and who this and that and who's Julius Ndongo and you know.
Listen, motherfuckers will sit there and peep the shit. Motherfuckers will sit there and shit on Tim Bradley, right? Not realizing some of the PBC guys, the wins that y'all exalt them for, like Lamont Peterson. Oh, Spence beat Peterson. Yeah, you realize Tim Bradley beat him first. And when Tim beat him, he was unbeaten.
Yeah.
He was unbeaten. All right. Motherfucking who else? Devon Alexander, unbeaten when he fought him. Unbeaten.
Yep.
You tell me which one of these guys got a win on their resume as good as Marquez after the Pacquiao knockout. That's a Hall of Fame win, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
That's a Hall of Fame win.
One hell of a knockout too for the record books. I mean,
now that's going on with Crawford. Oh, Gary Antoine Russell is about to fight a guy that Crawford beat years ago when nobody had beat this man. After Danny done paid him to step aside, after he busted up Lucas Mathese's eye, Crawford goes in there, beats the fuck out of this man, easy peasy, right? You didn't give him credit for that. He was a nobody. So that in 2022, and I already see it happening, when Gary fights this guy, he's probably going to beat the shit out of him. And, oh, Gary's the truth, bro. He beat the shit out of Postol. But Crawford wasn't the truth when he beat the shit out of Postol.
Look,
That's the shit that fucked up Crawford's career.
No. Wait. The thing about the WBO title, look, if you are a guy, let's assume you're an American guy from the United States, and only you watch PBC cards, and you see the graphics, the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, but the WBO is nowhere to found. Now, if you're that guy, you're not so much into boxing, you're not watching news on articles. What do you expect? You say, oh, the WBO is not a legit world title. It's like the IBO. So Terence Crawford, I think is holding a lesser version of a title. He's not a real champion. That shit is so harmful for your career.
Now listen. Now listen, you have guys that will watch Gervonta Davis go to the 12th round with today's Gamboa. Today's Gamboa has been knocked down approximately 16 times in his professional career. About 16.
Yep.
You give him credit. There are people out there that actually give him credit for fighting that version of Gamboa. But if I tell you, okay, well, Crawford fought an unbeaten Gamboa, an unbeaten prime Gamboa. Like, well, I'm not gonna say prime because that was never a good weight for him. You know, like when he started getting his ass beat, it was at 35. But better still, the Gamboa that Crawford fought was leagues better than the Gamboa that Davis fought. I'm gonna say the Gamboa that Crawford fought, he would have beat Gervonta Davis. Put him in a time machine. Look, watch that fight. The Gamboa he fought, he would have beat the fuck out of Gervonta Davis. Now, you don't give Crawford credit for Gamboa, but you give Davis credit for Gamboa?
Now, but look at what PBC is doing with this lesser version of the title, the WBA, especially. They're saying everyone, no, this is a Gervonta Davis versus Mario Barrios is Gervonta Davis is becoming the 4 times world champion.
Three division champion. My ass.
But you're fucking lying. That is not a world title.
Of course,
it's not,
bro. If it's not the alphabet musical chairs, what the giveaway should be is, okay, look at who these guys are fighting, right? And go back to the beginning of those guys' careers, and you'll see that a lot of these guys, like, oh my God, Spence beat Peterson. Yeah, Tim Bradley beat him first. And oh, Charlo beat Derevianchenko. Yeah, Daniel Jacobs beat him first. And it's a stupid fucking game. I had a back and forth with a guy in the comments because I said in a video that for me, the Daniel Jacobs that Canelo Alvarez fought was a more dynamic fighter who could fight on the inside and on the outside, does a bit of switch hitting, better resume than Jermall Charlo. And for my money, that Jacobs was a more dynamic fighter than Jermall is today. And the guy starts to, I'm like, bro, Jermall don't have a resume, bro. Who's the best guy he fought? Who?
Williams.
It gotta be. And who had Williams fought leading up to that fight?
I mean Jackson.
I ain't even going to. No, to me, it's Williams, right? And I remember because my pick for that fight was Charlo by knockout. Williams had fought no one. No one. The only reason I even bring him up is because he became a champion after that. But as far as when Jamal fought him, Julian Williams hadn't fought anybody leading up to that fight. He didn't. So how you going to give Jamal Charlo more credit for Sergey than you give Jacobs? Jacobs beat an unbeaten Sergey, unbeaten Peter Quillen, Sergio Mora 2 times, gave Golovkin a hard-ass fight. I don't even know that today's Jamal Charlo gives today's Gennady Golovkin a hard fight, because you can't look like that with a Montiel and convince me that you upper echelon, you elite.
Yeah.
Hey, Jules.
And
spotlight fell off accidentally. He's trying to get from the back, man. Just letting you know.
All right.
Yeah, and Jacobs has the more robust dossier. You know.
Well, these guys' resumes.
I like that. I like that word right there.
Dossier. Shout out to Manny Ruiz. Shout out to Get Hands. I appreciate you. There are people who actually say Bud looked terrible. Yeah, bro. It's like, yo, that's what, yo. I see, and I'm like, yo, it's insane, bro. Like, are we talking boxing? Like, are y'all crazy? He beat the fuck out of Pastel, bro.
They're the same ones that said Porter was winning and Plant was up 9-1.
Nah, these is the guys that think Gary got robbed.
And it's sad because the featherweight division used to be a glamour division. All the guys that went through there, Henry Armstrong, Willie Pebb, Wilfredo Benitez.
But you can't bring up.
No, I'm just saying historically, every decade there was a who's who in that division.
You can't bring but you can't bring up a Willie Pep to these guys. Like, for example, I had a argument on Twitter with a guy, right? That I'm like, yo, if you so mad about Canelo's clenbuterol, right? If you so mad about that, you do no. The guy said that if a pound for pound fighter cannot test positive for a banned substance, otherwise that removes them from the pound for pound list. And I'm like, that's bullshit, because Roy tested positive for a substance in 2001 and they kept him on there. Motherfucker didn't know that. I'm like, so you didn't know that Roy Jones Jr. tested positive for a banned substance? Bro, when the fuck did you guys start watching boxing? Like, seriously. 2001, it's not that long ago, bro. It's 22 years. It's not that long ago, bro. 22 years. Come on, B. Everybody know that shit.
And those are probably the same people that don't even know about Shane Mosley's involvement with Balco.
Yep.
The clear and the cream, remember?
And these are the people that'll tell you and swear on a stack of Bibles that Luis Ortiz is an elite level heavyweight. Okay, he tested positive for PEDs 2 times, bro. PEDs don't bother you if you bigging him up. How you bigging him up that tested positive 2 times for PEDs, but you mad at Canelo over some clenbuterol?
Yeah, and didn't Luis Ortiz said, like, after he got busted the second time, that it was blood pressure meds?
They let him off the hook, though. They let him off the hook.
Yeah, no, he had a note from his endocrinologist. he had heart murmurs. He had an excuse.
Yeah, but I mean,
at least that's more understandable than Oscar Valdez's herbal tea excuse.
Look, after a while, you got to use your common sense. It seems to me that it's becoming more and more prevalent that, look, a lot of these guys, if not all of these guys, are on something. So why are you picking and choosing when it bothers you? It doesn't bother you when it's Ortiz, right? Because y'all motherfuckers think he's the shit. And he got popped 2 times. So why does it bother you when it's Canelo?
Should I drink herbal tea on occasions? How come I don't have like 6-pack?
And you guys are talking to an expert because Jules is on the PEDs.
Real shit.
I remember when Fernando Vargas fought De La Hoya and he got popped for PEDs, man.
The whole thing is it's like the double standards are becoming more ridiculous. They are becoming more. It is becoming more ridiculous. If you get to a point to where you're talking up Gervonta Davis needing 12 rounds to knock out Gamboa, who Crawford bounced off the canvas like a fucking football, right? And he had 2 good legs that night, and his O was intact. If you shit on Crawford and turn around and big up Davis, the universe is upside down where you from, bro. It's completely upside down.
Ass backwards.
I shit on him for not knocking out Cruz.
Really?
He kind of fought scared in that fight to me. He was backing up way too much.
Listen,
and
with
it was
that
a little
fight,
guy, man. This is a little guy, bro.
bro. Imagine Davis versus Matias, bro.
Starched.
Super Yell would win. I think
Bro.
so. Super
How
Yell.
many
get
more
starched.
PBC fight? How many more PBC fighters are we gonna see with broken hand as an excuse?
Well, I mean that seems to be a very prevalent thing over there.
Until they die off, pretty much.
Yeah.
Probably.
And that goes back to they're not fighting enough to avoid these type of injuries.
Well, that's because look, when Keith Thurman lost the Pacquiao fight, he said it himself that he just went on an ice cream binge. So that already, you know, Richard Comey, he lost by knockout to Teofimo Lopez. He comes back against a high risk, low reward guy in Marinez, knocks his ass out. So that tells me a Richard Comey has the mental fortitude that a Keith Thurman does not. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Keith, you lost your belt. You resorted to eating ice cream. Richard lost his belt. Now I got to knock somebody out. I got to get back in the shit. I got to knock this motherfucker out. That's what he did.
I got to redeem myself. I'm about to knock this dude out. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Jose Zapata. He, to me, he's due for a title shot, but they put him in there with an unbeaten guy, New York kid with a big fucking mouth, in Josue Vargas. Did you see Jose complaining? Now he chilling, man, smiling, waving. And when the bell ring, mop. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Don't underestimate the dog in Sean Cepeda. He may be a classy guy, but dude, he's gonna fuck you up.
It goes back to the thing. They see a guy with a loss or two, and they're like, "Oh, he's washed. He's done." Like, nah, bro, nah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's one thing that I don't like about boxing. That whenever a guy loses, they just throw him
has very good boxing skills. Sean has very good boxing skills, but if he catches you with a perfectly timed shot, it's a wrap.
The equivalent of Chong versus Josue Vargas, the equivalent on PBC Island, or no, I should say Showtime, because this guy's not a PBC fighter, but the equivalent of that would be Keith Thurman versus Boots Ennis.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the equivalent. Now, do you think for a second that Keith Thurman would fight Boots Ennis?
No.
Nah, he doesn't even want.
You don't want that smoke.
Keith Thurman has even played dumb by saying, "Oh, who is Jaron Ennis? Who is he?"
He literally tried to act like he never heard it. Like, bro, you never heard of Jaron Ennis. Come on, B.
That's just Thurman shenanigans, man. That's all that is.
Do y'all see Ennis at 147 next year?
Ennis, then I'm fucking Robert De Niro, bro. You know?
Ennis is getting big. I can't see him at 147 for in 2023.
I mean, look, as long as he can keep making the weight. The thing about Ennis is, and I do agree with you, he's very big for the weight, but he's young. He's young, so he can keep making it. The thing is that the situation for him, it won't be any better at 154 until the promotional situation changes. Because if that doesn't change, they're going to keep him on the outside, bro. They're not going to give him access to none of those fighters.
And to me, in my opinion,
if Castaño and Charlie become undisputed and they release the belts,
yeah,
I don't think they're going to get those belts.
My opinion,
jump up and
Boots is like more comfortable weight should be 154 because he's a big kid.
And look, I don't got nothing against that because Tommy Hearns was a big motherfucker for welterweight. You know, Felix Trinidad was a big motherfucker.
Paul Williams.
If you can make the weight, like I'm not with the old weight bully. No, I'm not with that shit. You can make the weight, you can make the weight. My thing is that the situation isn't going to get better for him, and I don't know when his promotional situation is going to change because he seems stuck in that situation. They're not going to give him access to none of those fighters and none of those belts. Like, imagine this, right? He's lining himself up for an IBF title shot, might end up fighting Castillo Clayton. That's a good fight, right? But do you honestly believe that if Spence beats Ugas or Ugas beats Spence, do you honestly believe that they'll fight him?
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not. They'd rather fight Virgil Ortiz first.
Bruh, they'll drop that. Whatever belt they got to drop to get away from that guy, they'll drop it, bro. They wouldn't park their car next to that guy, bro. Fuck out of here. And that's why the shit is corny.
But so are they going to blame Ennis's promoter like they're blaming Bob Arum if they do that?
No, they're gonna do it. No, they're gonna do what Keith did and act like he doesn't exist because he legitimately. Who's Jaron? Like, you serious, bro? You never heard of this guy?
And like
They'll
he
just act
wasn't
like
doing
there's no
shoulder
money behind him.
programming
That's-
before the fights
that's
for
it.
Fox and Showtime PBC.
Now that you brought up the lawsuit, like I said yesterday, I came across an interesting bit of information in reference to Brian J. Friedman, that this is an avenue that he has perused before, but it didn't work. You know, he tried to go that route. I heard, I don't know, I'm gonna try to look for confirmation tomorrow, but I heard from a reputable source that Bob may be mounting a countersuit for defamation, which is what I said. They're like, you can't run around saying that about people.
It was eventual. It was
Yeah.
eventual.
You could have just kept the case simple and easy to win by focusing on the breach, because that's actually something that if you have the documentation, you can prove it. If you have the documentation, you have slandered this guy, which makes things complicated. And a lot of people don't want to understand that, but what you believe in court doesn't fucking matter. It's what you can prove. And you have to prove.
Julius,
Go ahead.
It's difficult for me to understand Ray Mercer in that interview, but can you explain to me what did he say?
He said that he saw what he was going to get paid for the Morrison fight. So he asked his manager, well, why am I only getting $50,000 more than Tommy Morrison? You know, because he was going to get more money, but not a whole lot more, just $50,000.
Because Top Rank was grooming Tommy to be the next Great White Hope. That was the thing.
And maybe they were, but my thing is this: were you getting paid less than Tommy or more than Tommy?
More than Tommy. He was getting 50 G's more.
And here's the thing about that too. I mean, Bob Arum is pretty straight up about things. We probably told him like, "Hey, bro, like, you do have a better amateur. You are the champion, but they see this guy as the great white
Bro,
hope."
but see, this, no, wait. Nobody say nothing. Nobody say nothing. Let me say this. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me say this. Since when the fuck does your amateur record have anything to fucking do with what you get paid as a professional? Rigo has a sensational amateur record. What the fuck does he get paid?
No, I'm just saying that he was telling me you have all.
No, not you, bro, not you.
Oh, okay.
Because I've heard that argument made before. When me and Beats was going back and forth, he brought up that Ray Mercer was on the Olympic team, and I'm like, I didn't get to say it then, but I'm like, bro, what does that have to do with his marquee value?
Really has nothing to do with it.
It's all with marquee value.
It's all about
marquee. Great White Hope. He has more marquee value than you. That's why.
Bro, I was around for all of that when they were grooming Tommy, and Tommy did have more. Like, yes, he was the darling, bro. Like, what you
Rocky.
think, bro?
No, Julius.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wasn't he his grandson of that cowboy dude? What's his name?
Yeah, he's John
John
Wayne's
Wayne.
grandson.
So they were linking
Yeah.
him to him a lot. That's why he was really popular too, because he was his grandson.
That's why he got the Duke nickname.
So let me just finish the story for Leo. Basically, Ray Mercer said, "Oh, why am I only getting paid $50,000 more than Tommy Morrison? I'm the champion. I'm the WBO champion." So his manager said, "You got to call Bob. Ask Bob about that." And he said that he caught Bob, and what Bob told him is, "Oh, well, it's because he's white." That's Ray Mercer's version of the story. And look, like I actually believe Ray. I believe that that's what Bob said because Bob is an asshole.
But without audio, without audio or written evidence, it's considered inadmissible in court.
Yes, hearsay.
Okay, let me say this. This is like a Me Too shit.
Yeah.
Look, if you were in the 60s grabbing chicks of all these women, that's foul. Let's say it like that. Even if it came later, okay, it came later, but it needs to came in some point. But if you're working with other women and other women say, I got mistreated by this guy, how did you grab your ass? Did he call you some sexist epithet? What did he do to you be calling false behavior. So Terence Crawford cannot be doing this against making this about other people. He has to be doing this about her.
Well,
himself.
let's say this, and I said this in the video I did about it. Ray Mercer, to my knowledge, I don't know if Brian J. Friedman is going to get in contact with other boxers that have similar experiences or similar stories to Ray Mercer. But let's use Ray's story as an example. You're going to use this story to try to constitute a racial bias. What does this story prove? That you made more money than Tommy Morrison? Because that's what your story is. You made $50,000 more than Tommy Morrison. So in what way were you wronged?
Yeah.
A lot of people a lot of people don't like the way it breaks down, but it's like Rolly Romero. And I said this leading up to his case. As far as I'm concerned, I believe the girls. I believe he's guilty. But consensual sex, like what y'all talking about, it is kind of hard to prove because you waited to do it. If you want to, if he did something like, God forbid, let's say he raped one of those girls, you got to go to the precinct, do the rape kit shit. You got to do all of that shit in a timely fashion because it only becomes harder to prove over time. It does become harder to prove. He beat the fucking case. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I believe those girls. Like, I believe with it because he looked like a creep. Like, bro, bitches don't want to.
He's a creep.
Be real, be like, bitches don't want to.
That first jacket, the hot weapon.
Who gonna want to lay down with that dude, bro? Like, he look like he got Down syndrome. Like, he gonna want. Come on, be like.
He's walking around that fur jacket like he in a Rocky movie or something, man.
It's real shit. Like he looked like something is not there. So
yeah, but Julius,
like he made Ted Bundy look like a good Samaritan, that kind of shit.
Yeah, but Julius, they are women there about that life.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you because it's a two-way street, and this is why I'm like what I think what a lot of people aren't realizing when it comes to how I look at all of this is I'm for due process. I'm not gonna believe something just because you said it. You understand? I'm not just gonna go with that. I'm for due process. If you were wronged, prove it.
Because it's circumstantial at that, you know what I mean, without proof, without anything to prove it, to back it up.
No, more importantly, anyone can. It sets a dangerous precedence when anyone can make any accusation and it's unsubstantiated, and we're just going to go with that. I am not emotionally compromised.
Julius, that's that Me Too stuff, man, and it's dangerous as hell.
Right, hold on. Now, the reason I say this is because what's happening right now happens on a smaller scale every day here on YouTube. A guy will see, okay, you're picking Canelo to beat Charlo, so they'll get in their feelings about it and they'll call you a name. They'll put a label on you, and that's some bullshit, but motherfuckers will do that. Now, what I see is, okay, this is happening on a bigger scale between Crawford and Top Rank. Like, where do you get that these two things are tied to each other? Now, if you have the evidence that proves this, okay, bring it forward. But if you don't, you should not be allowed to get away with saying things like that because it's very damaging to people's reputations. It is. You say something like that, and people may not remember what happened with the case. All they're going to remember is that you said that, and that label is there. They're like, oh, well, these people, they bias and this, that, and the other based on some shit that was never even proven. So if you have the proof, bring it forward. That's all I'm saying. I'm for due process. If you have evidence, bring it forward. But the things that were mentioned in the introduction to the lawsuit, bro, that's not evidence.
Yeah.
That's not evidence. That's basically not even an example.
Basically, he's putting fuel to a fire that's already lit.
Now let's see. And I've been saying this on repeat. Let's see what he brings forward. But when someone uses the Ray Mercer thing that, the thing that Ray Mercer said, for example, we know that there are no fixed purses in boxing, bro. All right. Just because you're a champion doesn't mean you're going to get X automatically. Every champion is not paid the same. For example, Estrada doesn't make what Canelo makes. Charlo doesn't make what Canelo makes. You know what I mean?
Chocolatito don't make what Canelo makes, and he's an accomplished fighter himself.
Better Beef wasn't getting the kind of purses that Anthony Joshua get. Purses are not fixed. It's all based on your
When
marquee
Pacquiao fought
value.
It's
Vargas, who got
marketing.
paid more? Pacquiao or
Jake
Vargas?
Paul ain't even a boxer,
Pacquiao.
and he's making more than most of these guys.
All right.
Mhm.
So put it this way, right?
Sadly.
The thing about that story that's not being that I think isn't being said is, yo, you telling a story where you still made more money, bro. You just wanted to make more than that. You wanted to make a lot more than that. Okay, well, now you're going to have to justify, right? If not that it's going to go to trial, because we're just being anecdotal with the story. The story itself is hearsay. That is your version of the story. What is Bob's, right? But let's go with your version. Okay, so in your version of the story, you still made more money.
Mhm.
You did. You said that you were getting paid $50,000 more than him.
Now, if he was getting paid $50,000 less,
There you
would
go.
that would be a different story.
That would you would have to like that you would have to explain that, like, okay, if Ray
You have to
Mercer
take
was
that
the
into
champion,
consideration.
if Ray Mercer was the champion, why is the challenger making more than the champion?
Especially concerning what Bob said. Now, if they did that, and he said that, then yeah, you got something right there, big time.
It's like, yo, you can't all people going to hear is the portion of the story where Ray said, oh, well, what Bob told me is because he's white. That's all they going to hear. But what they not going to pay attention to is, yo, so you telling a story where you made more money than Tommy, though. Because you did make more money than Tommy, though. You said that.
Basically to say, okay, you made $50,000 more. So what's the problem? You know what I mean?
It's kind of like that, because we all know how boxing works. It's all based on your marquee value. Yeah. I've never seen a guy's purses determined by his amateur record. So we can't bring in, oh, well, you know, Ray was on the same team as Roy Jones and Riddick Bowe. Bro, what the fuck does that have to do with his ability to sell tickets? I remember that era. Tommy was the draw. He was the guy that was being groomed to be the darling and all that bullshit. That's facts. And he still wasn't getting more money than you, though. You were getting 50 G's more than him. The WBO at that time also, it wasn't viewed in the same scope as the WBA, the WBC, or even the IBF. It wasn't viewed as being in the same league as those belts. So,
Julius, I don't know how it works in your country, the racial climate, the political climate, but let's say, can Gervonta Davis sue PBC because he got paid less than Leo Santa Cruz because he's Mexican? How is it work like that?
I mean, listen, this is what I mean. It's like, look, this is what I mean, right? That's what makes Crawford's lawsuit a little bit frivolous, unless you have a smoking gun. Now, if you have a smoking gun, cool. But it's very hard it's not unfair to say that, okay, what you're trying to prove can either be very difficult or very easy. Like I brought up the Golden Boy Promotions example, that with Helsiquio Valderas, it wouldn't be hard to prove a racial bias there because you actually had an email where there was a racial slur used. So that's kind of already characterizing the situation. But unless you have something like that on Bob, I don't know. Like, a lot of people say that about Bob, but I have yet to see somebody beat him in court based on that allegation. I have yet to see it happen. Like, Tony Tucker sued him. I don't even know if he won, but Tony Tucker wasn't saying he was a racist. Tony Tucker was saying he shorted him on a fight. So that kind of has nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's had lawsuits before, but unless those lawsuits are for the same reason that you're filing a lawsuit, no, you're not showing a bias. You have to show that he treats certain fighters a certain way, and that determines how they are promoted. That's what you have to show.
It's all about marquee value. I'll give you a good example. 1976 Olympic team. All those gold medalists and shit like that. Who was the only one that was thrusted into the celebrity spotlight? Ray Leonard. Rubbing elbows with Bob Hope and shit like that. He was the media darling. It goes to say, not every gold medalist is going to be getting that royal treatment.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree, 100%. Because and I said this in a video that if building a pay-per-view star were an exact science, not only would everyone have one pay-per-view star, they'd have 3 and 4 of them if it were an exact science. But building a pay-per-view star is not an exact science. It's not. It isn't.
Yeah.
It's not like you say, well, if you win a gold medal, you're going to be a pay-per-view star. No, that can't be true. Rigo has 2 gold medals. It's not nothing is, you know what I mean? Like, look, Alen Babic, case in point right now. Alen Babic, Filip Hrgovic, right? Filip Hrgovic is the more decorated amateur, but Alen Babic is the fan favorite.
The fan favorite, right. And it was like the same thing with Sugar Ray. It was Sugar Ray Leonard. He was thrusted into the celebrity spotlight after the Olympics. Right after. He was like groomed as like the next big thing after like Muhammad Ali's career decline.
It's like the expectation is too unrealistic. And what I really don't like about this case is that it's taking the blame away from where the blame belongs. The blame doesn't, Top Rank is not to blame if he didn't get to become a bigger star. I'm sorry to say that, but they couldn't force those guys to fight him. They made an offer to Danny Garcia. Danny wanted to fight Adrian Granados. What the fuck they gonna do about that?
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
Julius, I have a question.
Go ahead.
We can say all these PBC guys, they are not gonna fight. Let's say Stanionis, Buta, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis. Do you see Terence Crawford fighting any of those guys?
I don't know because I don't know. Let me put it this way. I could believe that Crawford is on the eve of retirement just as easily as I could believe that he might strike a pact with the PBC. I could believe either of those things. I don't know what's about to happen. You know what I mean? I literally don't, because this could be a move to walk away into the sunset with a couple of millions. It could be that way. Or this could be something that he's doing because he's about to go to the PBC. I don't know. There's so many different ways to interpret this. But I will say that my gut tells me, no, he's not going to end up fighting Virgil Ortiz. He's not. That's what my gut tells me. Like, that fight is not going to happen. I don't.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's possible because I think it's possible that he may end up at the PBC. I think it's possible. I could entertain him fighting fighters that fight on Showtime. Butaev did fight on Showtime. You know what I mean? Jamal James did fight on Showtime. Maybe he ends up fighting Jaron Boots Ennis at some point. Maybe. I'm not even sure. But my gut tells me, yo, I know Ortiz, I don't see that fight happening. I don't see that fight happening at all. I don't.
Think so. No. I wouldn't think so either.
Of those 4 guys, who you see more beatable?
What do you mean? Out of who? Butaev?
Stanionis, Butaev, and Boots Ennis, and Virgil Ortiz.
Stanionis is the most beatable.
Yeah.
Stanionis is the most beatable. And then it would be Butaev. And that's only based on resume, though, because I don't even know if Butaev is going to beat Stanionis. But you got to give Butaev credit because he beat Jamal James. And that's a good that was a good scalp for him to pick up. That was a good scalp. But out of all of them, the most beatable guys I would say is Butaev and Stanionis. Those are the 2 most beatable guys.
Now here's a good question. Politics aside, who will win in a fight between Boots and Virgil Ortiz?
I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know. I'm leaning towards. You know what the thing is? This is the thing. We haven't seen Boots with a puncher. I feel like Boots is a better boxer, and I feel like he's more malleable. He's more versatile because he's a switch hitter.
He's a good all-around fighter, right?
He's a good all-around fighter.
Yeah, he's well-rounded.
But I've seen Virgil. With Virgil, it's not my imagination. I've seen Virgil in there with guys that hit hard. I've seen him in there with guys. Exactly. I've seen him in there with guys that got experience, guys that hit hard. And I haven't seen Boots in there with nobody like that yet. So it's like I don't even edge that fight because I'm like, wow, they fighting real different people right now. I don't even.
And with Virgil, we've seen him recover from getting checked.
Yeah, like
we haven't seen that with Boots.
Right.
And for with Boots, you're not gonna.
He's pretty much
You're
untested.
not gonna sell me on Boots fighting Sergey Lipinets. And who was the last guy he fought?
Fucking Delorme.
Like, bro, like I get it. Boots passes the eye test, but I need to see when the shit hits the fan.
What are his intangibles? Right. What are his intangibles?
But that'll be a hell of a fight, though.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna happen, man. Like,
no, it ain't gonna happen. Obviously, the politics, but in an ideal world, we would love to see that fight. You know,
like he's on the eve of fighting Castillo Clayton. It could be Castillo Clayton. Castillo Clayton is actually really good. He's an Olympian from Canada. At least in that fight, you'll see whether or not Boots can keep up with a moving target. But until I see him in there with somebody that could punch, it's hard to
puncher, right?
It's hard to imagine. Well, how you gonna fare against a puncher when you got like close to 30 fights and none of those guys was really punchers? I don't know if you could take a punch because, man, come on, B. Sergey is mad little for 147, bro. That dude was mad little.
He's a natural junior welterweight. That was Sergey Lipinets.
Right.
So I really don't know. To be real with you, I don't know what would happen in that fight. I literally don't know. Virgil was not little for fucking welterweight. That's the other thing. Virgil's big for welterweight. They both are.
Like he could be comfortable at 154 and still like be good, still be a legitimate threat.
All right, now let me read the super chats. Julius, what future do you see for the sport when we consider inactivity, lack of discipline, glorified resumes, and all the bullshit we're seeing? All right, for the future, the numbers are going to continue to decline in the American market, and more attention is going to go into the global market. So you might start seeing a lot of American fighters, except for PBC guys, but you might start seeing top-ranked fighters fighting in the UK because they have a UK network affiliate, and that might be the way to go for opportunities. Like, yo, dog, you can't keep relying on these Americans to pay for fights because they obviously don't want to pay for fights. So you might have to go abroad to get your money.
Yep.
AJJJJ, what's goody, Jay? Yo, we got a lot of people up here, man. I'm just keeping it real with you, dog. Post the link right here. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fights that I don't even like. I see a lot of people talk about that fight, Boots versus Ortiz, and I don't waste my time on fights that I don't think are gonna happen. That fucking fight is not gonna happen, bro.
Yeah, Boots is going. I see Ortiz staying at 47 longer than Boots.
Yeah, because I could see that. I could see that.
And for Boots, the fight for Boots to where it's gonna be like, oh shit, this is a pound per pound fight. This is when Boots and Xander are around the same weight class.
Yeah, but even
60.
Yeah, but even that fucking fight, bro. Like, do you?
Yeah, the odds of that fight happening are
See, that's what's sad, though, man. It's like we're all sitting here going, "Oh, the odds of this fight happening, the odds of that fight happening is like not going to happen, not going to happen." That's what's wrong with boxing today. We should.
Well, that's American,
fights,
bro.
Man.
Country, you know that's American boxing, bro. Now, if I start talking to you about two Brits, we know we're gonna get the fight. We know it's only a matter of time.
Right.
If I start talking to you about two Russians, you know we're gonna get the fight. It's only the Americans that's putting us through this bullshit.
Well, in the men, but with the women, you get the fight.
Well, yeah, with the women. Well,
I mean, we might not get Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, but I've been caught. See that shit? I've been caught that shit. Like the amount of money that she want, it all hinges on who's gonna put it up. Because if you expecting Eddie to just throw you $1 million, listen, man, it don't work like that. It really don't. Now maybe you need to talk to Jake. Maybe Jake could give you $1 million since everybody's thanking Jake. Maybe Jake will put up the money.
Yeah, maybe Jake will give you some of that 40 he made in boxing last year.
Real shit. What's a million?
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
Ain't shit.
What's up, man?
So I mean, what Amanda's still bitching about who gonna pay for this fight? Are you kidding me?
Well, no. I mean, like, we're speculating because the word around the campfire is that the negotiations have hit a snag. And if they've hit a snag, you can use your imagination as to what the snag could be.
See, usually you can't use Eddie as an excuse no more. You can't do that. I mean, like he's not your promoter. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, like, does she want this fight or not? She had an opportunity to do it before.
Listen, man.
I mean, if
Jay,
you
I
try to
told
age Katie out, I think that's what this is. If I'm being honest.
Jay, she don't want the fight. She wants the check, bro. She don't want the fight. She wants the check.
She just wants to get out of Wave Rider, don't she? That's all she wants to do.
That's all it's ever been because in 2018 when she won the WBO at 140, what she was going to do? Go all into MMA. It was only because of the money associated with the Taylor fight that she stayed. That's literally it. And that's how I know, like, yo, you don't want to fight. You want to check. You want to check.
I mean, because, like, the thing was, let's just say, like, she fought Katie, right? And she actually was wrong. I'm sure most of everybody on the panel was picking Katie to beat her. I mean, let's just say she, beat Katie, took a row, took her belts. All the adulation comes after that, right? Maybe she gets more money for a rematch.
Yeah, but that's not the mindset. See, that's not the mindset. I agree with you, but that's not the mindset that we see employed. Like, look, Hunter is the prime example. On the other side of a Hrgovic fight is the money, the belts. But you so focused on the purse for a Hrgovic fight that you don't even fucking get to the money and the belts because you worried about the Hrgovic fight.
I mean, and it's just a shame. It's like most of these fighters don't have confidence in themselves to just say, like, you know what, I could beat this guy if I fought him. You know what I mean? I don't even give a shit about the money. I really could. Like, most fighters should be able to access their skills, access what they can do, and be like, you know what, I'm gonna beat this dude. I can beat this dude.
What I'm gonna say is that what the Americans are bitching about, what I see that many of the American-based fighters are bitching about, is what the foreign fighters have to subject themselves to on a regular basis. Case in point, Mark Magsayo is not from America. But did you see him worrying about where the fight gonna be at? No, I ain't worried about where the fight gonna be at.
Do y'all know what you got for that fight?
What you got for that fight?
175K. That's what I that was his first. That's it. That's all he got.
Shit. What I'm talking about, man. Like, what I'm talking about.
He took it and he got the exposure.
Real shit. It's like, yo, you gotta shoot your shot, man. Like, because what I see.
Sucks, though. Sorry.
No. Yeah, he's like, I really, to be completely honest, I wasn't impressed. But because of the state and the politics, right? Like, let's be real. We're not getting Magsayo versus Navarrete. To me, Navarrete is the best featherweight in the world.
Navarrete, he would kill that man.
He would kill that man. Like, he kill that. Like, he would kill that dude.
He'll put his ass in a coma or a body bag.
But realistically,
let's see him do it then.
Realistically,
I'm not opposed to the fight. Sorry, go just good.
Okay, realistically, we're not gonna get that fight. So why would I waste time on a fight that I know is not gonna happen? That shit is not gonna happen. What's gonna happen probably is Leo fucking Santa Cruz. So ask yourself, can he beat Leo? Yes.
Absolutely. He'll knock his ass out.
At this point, yeah.
He'll knock his ass out.
Knock his ass out.
Yeah, because Leo can't punch. I mean,
the question is, though, is Leo going to end up breaking his arm in the middle of the fight? Because he struggled with a one-arm man in that ring.
I mean, look, put it this way. That knockout that he suffered to Gervonta Davis, yo, that shit probably took something out of his ass, bro. He probably ain't going to be the same after that.
We'll find out in this Carbajal fight.
If he loses to Carbajal, that's going to be some funny-ass shit.
And it's not Michael Carbajal he's fighting. It's fucking Keenan.
Are they related at all? No, in relation to them or no?
I've absolutely no idea, man. He could be just as related to Kel Kimball for all I know.
I don't think he is.
Point is, Leo ain't shit, and Magsayo, bro, they about to go all in with Magsayo, bro. They try to turn him into Manny Pacquiao 2.0, so don't expect him to cross no street. That shit ain't gonna happen.
Oh boy, I can see.
Good luck turning him into Pacquiao 2.0.
That's what they shooting for.
I can see protected Central, man. They just gonna be like just really wrapping him in cocoons of caution tape.
If anything, you got to use your head. Okay, so who does the PBC have between 126 and 130? A fight that
I think, Jay, before you finish this, just remember, right, when PBC are turning people into stars, you got to think 2 divisions below as well as part of that. So not just 126, but anyone from 118 upward. Because Tank was at 130 fighting junior fucking featherweights for years.
Yeah, Yeah, but the way they like to do things is they like to feed the foreign fighters to the American-based fighters. So they're about to have Chris Colbert fighting for the WBA title. I think Chris is going to win that fight. And I could see Mixayo versus Colbert a year from now. I could see that.
Yeah.
After he fights Leo, if they make the fight, and if he beats Leo, he's not going to fucking go to Top Rank looking for no...
Is Gutierrez traveling to the PBC for that fight?
Yeah, that's going to be a Showtime fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Regular
they
show
already-
time right now.
Wow.
Pay-per-view.
The Zone didn't play ball on that? They dropped the ball on that.
No, well, I mean, it is what it is. They announced this shit like, what was it, 2 days ago? It's going to be a Showtime fight. Matter of fact, it was part of the broadcast last night. They showed the shit. They got the date and all of that.
You know, that's actually a good fight, though, Colbert versus Gutierrez, because Gutierrez, like, people are underrating him a lot. They really are underrating him.
I don't sense a banana skin. I think they'll rob Gutierrez if they have to.
I didn't want Chris.
Oh, I'm talking punching power, though, Jay. He can punch.
I mean, if he were to knock out Colbert, that'd be some funny ass shit.
I mean, see, the thing is, Colbert is not going to unify with Shakur afterwards. He'll call him.
Nah,
he's not going to fight Shakur.
it already-
Even though I want that fight, even though I want to see that fight, it's not going to happen. I mean,
Yeah, that's why you think I don't be getting excited no more, Jay. Because I'm like, yo, dog, for all this, I seen they had like a back and forth. Well, I think it was on the Boxing Voice.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that shit.
And I'm like, yo, why the fuck y'all getting excited? They ain't about to fight. The fuck y'all getting excited because they arguing? Like, what is there to be excited about? They not gonna fight I don't mean like they not gonna fight today. They not gonna fight at all, bro. At all.
It's just like Ryan and Tank. It's gonna lead to the same thing. Nothing at all.
It ain't about shit. So I'm like, I can't get excited over that shit unless we talking about foreign fighters, bro. I don't even get excited because like Yoka was about to fight Hrgovic, bro. I don't know why everybody mad at Yoka, but he was about to fight that dude. Like, bro, what the fuck? I'm fighting Martin Bacoli when I could fight Hrgovic. I fought you before.
Yeah, Bacoli fucked that up. I think that would have pissed me off. It's like, all right, Martin, you see what you did now? You might have made him angry.
I hope he beat his fucking ass over that shit. I hope he beat his ass. Let me read the super chat. Amanda 8 start acting funny about money till big sis Cindy got buzzed. Yo, that's real shit. That's real shit.
Yep.
I mean, like, is it true that his train, like the Jordan Maldonado guy was saying, like, oh, Cindy Serrano, that ain't the real Serrano that you need to fight. You need to fight Amanda, this and that. I'm like,
he was playing
a woman like that.
He was playing Cindy. He was like, "Oh, you fought what did he say? You fought the weak Serrano." He said some shit that I was like,
wow. How you gonna dish your wife like that?
Wow,
that's fucked up.
Yo, let me ask a random question, right? About Navarrete. Is that motherfucker shelved or not by Zanfer? Because I don't know what his next fight is, and if you remember, he was saying he was free from Zanfer, and they came out and said he wasn't. So what the fuck's going on there?
I think they're working out that situation is what I think. I remember he announced he's a free agent, and Zanfer was like, no. And remember, they was talking about doing a Valdez fight. Remember that? That Fernando Beltran was like, yo, we want Valdez. All that noise stopped once Navarrete announced, yo, I'm a free agent. I don't think he wanted Valdez, is what I think. I don't think he wanted to move up for that fight. And I think
all I know is it's been 4 months since then, right? Just about 3 months, 3.5 months or something, since that situation. And we don't know what's going on with Navarrete's next fight. That's rare.
I think the only reason we're getting Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez is because of the Navarrete situation. I don't think he ever wanted that fight. I seen Fernando asking for that fight, feel me? I didn't see Navarrete asking for that fight. I seen Beltran asking for that fight. And now we don't know what the fuck going on with Navarrete.
Anybody think Shakur will stop Oscar?
Possibly. But I have him winning either way. Decision or stoppage.
Yeah, me too. I got him on points. I think I won on points. Because Oscar showed a lot of grit and toughness before, he fought through a broken jaw. Just he showed just real grit. So I think
but the speed gonna be the difference, not just the base style, but the speed gonna be the difference, man.
Yeah, Shakur is a lot faster, man. I got him jabbing his head off just all night. You know what I mean? His jab is gonna be really, really. I mean, honestly, I gotta go back and rewatch that Jamel fight. But when we saw it, bro, it's like he beat him with ease, no problem at all. You know what I'm
Well, the
saying?
shit is Jamel was boxing him, whereas Oscar gonna have to come forward, bro. You can't fight the fight on the outside. You a sitting duck, so you gonna have to come forward, and you gonna make it that much easier for him to jab your fucking head off because you're coming forward.
And that's gonna be a no because like I think Shakur hits a lot harder than advertised. If I'm being honest.
Well, let's put it this way: even if he doesn't, if you got a guy coming forward, that's gonna magnify the power in the punch because you walking into the punch.
Ask Brook when he ran into Bud's punch.
Real shit.
Yeah, or Manny when he walked into Marquez's right hand.
Oh
He
God,
fucking
yeah.
fell into
Oh,
this.
God.
He fucking fell into that shit. But real shit, it's gonna be a good fight. That's probably the only scheduled fight that I'm genuinely excited about. That's the only, because I don't even know if we're gonna get Chocolatito versus Estrada behind this bullshit.
God, man.
Again.
Here we go. I mean, because like, okay, let's say also just another scenario. Jules, let me lay out. Okay, so let's say Shakur beats Valdez, right? Becomes a unified champ, takes a WBC strap. Who the other super featherweight champs in the division? So you got Ogawa and who's got the WBA strap?
Gutierrez has it right now, but Chris about to get that.
You think that he can unify with Ogawa? Is it possible? When
I think he just signed the matchroom. I believe he did. He did just sign. So I don't know. I don't know if Bob would try for that. I don't know if he would. I think Eddie would be willing to do the fight. He'd be willing to do fights.
Oh yeah.
But they could just as easily decide, okay, now it's time to take Shakur to the lightweight division and let's make a fight with Loma.
Got it. Yes. Okay. Yep.
They don't want to get in no fucking situations with Eddie, man. They don't want to work with Big Eddie, man, with the big wallet, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Do you think it depends on all what Shakur wants to do, really? If he wants to unify, if he wants to be undisputed, or he just wants to move?
Nah, because undisputed is not a realistic goal at 130 because of Colbert and Gutierrez. It's just not a realistic goal.
Yeah.
Ogawa is more doable and he is more beatable. But do you really think Bob is gonna pursue it though? That's what you gotta act like. Is Bob and Todd do both? And are they really gonna chase after it, or will they say, let's just move him up because we got a couple of ponies at 135 that he can fight?
Yeah, I mean, with the press, I mean, like Loma said, he's even open. He said, undisputed is my goal. If all belts at 130, if I can get those, of course I go down.
Real shit. It's getting predictable to the point to where you can't really get excited about who's in a division. You got to look at who they with first and then decide if the fight is realistic.
That's the first thing I do. And if the PBC is involved, I'm like, all right, well, we won't see any unification or undisputed matches up in this division. So
shout out to Jaime Nieto. What up, Jules? Have you heard anything about this possible Canelo Charlo fight? I actually have. I want to see the fight to see Canelo stop the BS narrative. The last thing I heard about Canelo was he is fighting Charlo. That was literally the last thing I heard. That was a day or so ago.
So it's pretty much a done deal. It should be announced soon.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a done. I don't know if it's a done deal. I just know that's the name I was given. That is the name I was given. I was given Charlo. That he's fighting Charlo. Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Does that make you happy or sad, Jay? Honest.
I'm indifferent. It doesn't. I literally every time I say it, I'm dead serious. Like I'm indifferent. He could fight whichever one of these guys is out there. Whichever, it's all the same.
I think he just needs to get him out of the way. I mean, instead of dragging it out, fight him.
I mean, think about it this way, right? You got the fight that you want to see. The fight that I would like to see is Canelo versus Better Beef or Canelo versus Bivol, because to me, those are more challenging fights.
Those are real tests. Those are real tests right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think of the story, right? Like we always talk about Christmas time, people going out and giving to those who are in need and less fortunate. And we know Charlo's struggling to get like meals at restaurants and stuff. It's a Christmas story.
Now the plus with Charlo, and I mean this wholeheartedly, right? For those that are waiting for the narrative pushers to stop pushing narratives, they're not going to stop pushing narratives if Canelo knocks out Charlo. Y'all do realize that?
Oh, absolutely, bro. It's not going to stop. He beats Charlo with ease. Like, be prepared for some more BS excuses.
Because that's exactly Because that's exactly what happened with Plant. Like, motherfuckers was literally picking Caleb Plant to beat him. And immediately after that, Caleb Plant became, oh, he ain't shit. So expect
Nah, man. Listen, Charlo's gonna knock out Canelo, and if he doesn't, it's clearly a fixed fight. It's just simple.
Now, if he does fight Charlo, for me, the only fun part will be watching Charlo get his fucking ass beat, because Canelo is a superstar to us, right? But he's a superstar to Charlo too. And it shouldn't be that way, but he's a superstar to Charlo because Charlo is not a competitor. You are literally looking to cash out in your prime years. So you're going to be starstruck when you fight this guy. You're going to be like a deer in the headlights.
Because, I mean, because, you know, in the Caleb fight, like, Caleb was not mentally there in the Canelo fight.
Bro, you seen a dumbass questions.
He turned into a fanboy in the fight. And, like, talking to, like, oh, good, not good for 21.
I'm pretty good for a guy with this amount of fights, huh? Yo, calm the fuck down, Billy. Get your ass back in the trailer.
I mean, plus, even at the weigh-in, he was like, talking about, like, no los pingo chingazos. Yeah, y'all mad up in here. I'm like, what did he? What?
Yeah, the only guy over there that I don't think that would be starstruck by Canelo, but he would still lose. And I like, bro, like, what the fuck do y'all see in this dude that y'all think he a boogeyman? Is Benavidez. Like, Benavidez won't be starstruck. He'll do his best to make it a fight, but he'll get himself knocked out. Because this is not fucking Tyrone Davis and Ronald Ellis you fighting, bro. It really is levels to this shit. And you not on the level, bro. You haven't fought nobody to prove you on the level.
People forget about
You think the Ronald Gabriel fight was hard, huh, David? Do you think Ronald Gabriel was hard?
That dude put him on the canvas.
He needed two fucking fights to beat that dude decisively. Like, he needed 2 fights with Ronald Gabriel. Chill, B.
Okay, but about David Benavidez, people forget this guy is having troubles to make the weight. It's not a super middleweight anymore.
Leo,
it's a lightweight.
What did I say?
That's what's bothered. Listen, Leo, that's bothered me a lot because he had an opportunity to move up there to 175, right, David? Because they ranked him there after he lost the title. Move up to 175, acclimate to the weight, get himself an opportunity to become a champion. He had all of that, and he did that in pursuit of staying in a division where he's clearly draining himself so much. Because look, he's a fat fuck, and he likes cocaine. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
So he needs to get up to 175.
Now think about it. You talking about a dude that's killing himself to make 168. And Canelo don't knock him out?
He's killing himself to make the weight, and he misses the weight.
Exactly. You see what I mean? 160. Well, I'm not gonna say he missed the weight in his last fight, but I'm gonna say you didn't make super middleweight in your last fight because the contracted weight changed because I think Uskateki got popped for a pad or some wild shit like that. Something happened.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Something happened and they swapped them out and it was no longer an eliminator, so they didn't have to make 168 in a nutshell. That's literally what happened. And it's still noticeable that, like, yo, dog, like, you struggling though. Like, you can't keep making, you've been there too long, bro. So if you do still be there and you do fight Canelo, I have Canelo knocking him out, bro.
But Jay, you're forgetting. David Benavidez has pedigree. When he was a fat 11-year-old, he was sparring with the great Manny Pacquiao. Canelo can't handle that.
The dumb shit. The dumb shit it's like your dog.
You just made Julius cringe.
Let me
broke him, man.
Let me read the super chats. You're right, Jules. They're gonna build the next monster. Canelo is apparently ducking. I like David, but he squares up too much, and he's going to be right in front of Canelo to pick apart because that's what he's accustomed to, and that's why it's levels to the game. The best guy he fought, I think, is who? Anthony Durrell, right? We can say that's the best guy he fought because he's WBC champ. Bro, Anthony Durrell is the best guy you fought?
It's not bad. Look, we can laugh. It ain't bad. It's not great, but it ain't bad.
No, it's not bad, but you talking about a dude that won 24 rounds with Gennady Golovkin. Talking about a dude that won 12 rounds with Daniel Jacobs, 12 rounds with Miguel Cotto, went up the light heavyweight, smacked Sergey right in his face. I give him credit. I'm sorry. I give him credit. I know a lot of people don't, but I do, because I believe
that man knocked out 50% of the Smith dynasty.
Wait, that Sergey, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy, that Sergey would give David Benavidez fits. I believe it. With that jab, with that pity pat jab and that movement. Listen, Sergey was moving more in that fight than any of these motherfuckers that you be fighting. How I know you could beat him? You don't be fighting people like him, bro.
Actually, think about it like this. Sergey was, a lot of people say, okay, Sergey, back-to-back training camps, weight trained, etc., was moving better than both Plant and Billy Joe Saunders, who were allegedly in their prime. Think about that.
That's what, like, look, if you watch that fight, and you can go to your DAZN app and watch it, I recommend that all of you do, his pity-pat jab disarmed Canelo more than Caleb's slick boxing. His slick boxing.
I mean, like, y'all remember the punch that Canelo knocked him out? He literally, like, put his
Canelo
hands
was
down.
having trouble getting inside.
Plant literally put his hands down with the Philly shell and waited to get punched in the, like cracked with Canelo's hook. Like, left his chin right out in the air. It's like
I don't know why I'm supposed to look at David or Charlo as being more capable than that Sergey. Like, yo, dog, the way Sergey boxed in that fight, he will give them a lot of fucking problems. I don't know if y'all could beat that dude, bro. You over here going 12 with Montiel. You getting dropped on your ass by Ronald Gavril. You needed 2 fights for a decisive victory. I don't know y'all on the level of that dude.
By the way, Sergey versus Mang Feng Long, who you got?
Honestly, I think I might have to go Mang.
Yeah. How long did Sergey fought? Was
I love that. I fucking love that shit, Jay. I fucking love that shit.
Bro, Sergey,
he ain't got fought since he got knocked out by Canelo, has he?
Yeah, he got caught with pads in his system, bro.
Yeah. He was gonna fight Bektemir, but then they scrapped that fight.
Yeah. Look, right. As far as I know, he ended up being cleared of the testosterone shit. I still think that was, just my own opinion, weaponized drug testing so that Golden Boy didn't have to pay him that extra money. That's something I'll just go with. Possibly.
That's a good point. That is a good, because they owed him. How much do they owe him? Is it it's $1 million or? I know
it's 1.7.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money for a Bektemir Melikuziev fight.
Yes, it is, though. Like that's and if he tests positive for a banned substance, for all we know, that voids the contract and the arrangement that they had with him. Like, yo, dog, you tested positive for some shit. We was gonna give you your fight. You fucked that up. So it could be weaponized drug testing. That's a very good point. Jaime says, got in late, Jules. Glad I caught y'all. I look forward to your show. This is my favorite boxing I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And yeah, man, like I don't say that to be like funny. I'm serious when I say that the Sergey that Canelo fought, in all honesty, I feel he's better than everybody that they fought, than everybody that Charlo fought, and better than everybody that Benavidez fought. Convince me that he's not.
I agree with that. And like I said, like had David Benavidez took advantage of signing with Top Rank, he would have gotten the better competition.
Your best win, if you're Benavidez, your best win is Anthony Durrell, because Sergey can't beat Anthony Durrell.
Actually, I'll go ahead of this. Hold on. The fight just beforehand, Sergey fought against Anthony Yarde. Yes, I think Anthony Yarde knocks out all the guys Benavidez has fought and all of the guys that Caleb Plant has fought. Straight up, knocks them all out.
I think he knocks out Charlo at least. I think he knocks out Charlo. Shit.
I think he knocks out Caleb Plant.
So this is what I mean. Like when you apply,
I think Callum Johnson to knock out Charlo.
When you apply the boxing math, you really gotta ask yourself, yo, why the fuck am I supposed to be high on Benavidez? Like, what did he do? What What did Charlo do? What? The best fights, like for a boxing fan that wants to see a good boxing match, is Canelo Beterbiev because Beterbiev hit like a truck, and Bivol because he's got a great jab, great set of legs, good speed, great movement, and he could take a punch. It's a real frustrating style for Canelo. To me, those are the best fights. But I'll pay to see you beat the shit out of Jamal. Yeah, I'll pay to see. Why not?
Oh yeah. He'll get my money for that for sure.
Yeah, like you wanted the fucking fight, right? Everybody wanted him to fight fucking Jamal. So okay, cool.
By the way, Jules, let me bounce them up real quick. Stanionis counter Ben. How you see that going?
Real shit, bro. Look, I like Conor, but if you put him in there, like if that was the next fight, I would go Stanionis.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to God, I would go Stanionis. Ben is not like, see, Conor's a good fighter, right? But he's not a big welterweight, bro. Like he really isn't, bro. He's not. Like Stanionis could get him, bro. Butaev could get him. So he's not ready for that type of shit.
What makes me worry about Stanionis is I don't see Stanionis being. I don't see him like knowing he can take a punch from all these guys. Well, he hasn't faced punchers really, because he has a good amateur record. He has been looking good.
Mark, you gotta lower your mic, bro. You startling the shit out of me with that shit. It's too loud, bro.
What did I do?
You're too loud, bro. That shit scared the shit out of me. That like what the fuck? But no. To Leo's point, I do agree. I kind of see it's possible for him to end up like Baranchik. I kind of see that, like I haven't seen you with no punches, bro. Butaev versus Stanionis, for what it's worth, is a great fight, by the way. That's a great fucking fight.
The difference between Stanionis and Baranchik is Stanionis is more put together boxer.
Yes.
With better fundamentals in the eye test, of course.
Yeah,
but it looks more technical in that regard.
Baranchik fight, and he been that way. He fight like the first round of Lopez versus Kambosos. He been fighting that way his whole career.
No. I love Baranchik and tape, but he's got no defense at all.
None.
Zero.
None.
I mean, he just like
he's like he's a bit like Provodnikov in a way.
Yes. Minus Provodnikov's chin.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Ruslan's chin was like fucking granite.
Bro, his shit was made out of Russian snow.
I think Baranchik actually did have a really good chin. It ended up getting shattered. Like just too much damage.
Bruh, I heard Provodnikov chin, they pee on the snow, then freeze it, then they stuff this fucking chin with that shit, B.
Man, they called him the Siberian Rocky.
Holy shit!
They called him the Siberian Rocky, man, because that dude could take a punch, man.
Real shit.
The thing about Provodnikov,
and he had good power too. He had good power as well.
I never see Provodnikov like being defensively lacking per se, but he didn't see the punches in that way. It's not like the guy like he saw the punch and defense. He puts his hands together, but it takes a lot of punches because he don't see the punches really. He catch what he can.
Yeah.
Him and Bradley had a good series, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Bradley said that fight took so much out of him after that.
It's one of the best fights I've ever fucking seen.
Zapata and Baranchik, man. That fight took everything out of Baranchik, bro. He don't have punch resistance no more.
That was evident in the Love fight. Love fucked him up real bad.
Yeah, he fucked him up, man.
Baranchik might be damn.
And I still haven't gotten
savage knockout that he suffered against Zapata.
I still haven't gotten into the overall hype that's been going on Montana Love yet, because people are doing it off the Baranchik performance. But my thing is, I was watching that Kenneth Sims Jr. fight live. Like that was on. It was when Boots was fighting that big ass Mexican dude whose name I can't remember. On the Showbox a couple of years ago. Like I saw that performance. Montana should have lost to Kenneth Sims. So I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, but let's not use that as an indictment against I wouldn't use that as an indictment against Montana Love because look, Kenny Sims beat the Dominican kid. They was grooming Rodriguez and he fucking beat him, bro.
I feel you, right? They were grooming Rodriguez, but like sometimes they do groom fighters that ain't shit.
That's true. That's true. Look at Berlanga.
He went there, bro. Yo, Jay, look though, FA, bro. Look at FA.
Yeah. Look, I can't say that, bro. Like, yo, Frankie Sanchez was not
the big
fighting.
Nigerian nightmare who'll knock out everybody on planet Earth.
Yeah, a motherfucker that's trying to fight, not a motherfucker that's trying to pity. Like, bro, this is the heavyweight division.
Hey, man, it's boxing. There's ways to skin a cat, man. Many ways to skin a cat.
There's ways to put
got skinned.
Yo, I can make motherfuckers stop watching boxing with Frank Sanchez fights, bro. Motherfuckers will not. I could just like, you want to stop watching boxing? Watch
Here, look at that.
Y'all want to hear something? Y'all want to hear something? Funny, just right quick.
How I feel about Frankie Sanchez is like the same way of how I felt about Chris Bird.
Okay. Let's. We can say whatever about Frankie Sanchez, but he did put FA jackpot on his ass.
Yeah, he did. But
so did Iago Kaladze. FA ain't shit is the point of this.
It ain't even that, dog. Like, look, the live reaction is up, bro. It's on video. I was legitimately about to go to sleep, dog. Legit. Like, I was about to pass out during that fight. All the energy that we amassed from the Helenius Kovnowski rematch, Frankie killed that shit, dog.
Jay, before that fight happened, like that live stream happened, the predictions and everything from the day before when you were doing the stream, I came onto the panel and I directly remember saying this. He's gonna spoil the fuck out of this fight. And you're like,
I remember that.
God, I hope that's not fucking true. And you're like, it could fucking. I hope it's not fucking true,
bro.
He spoiled the fuck out of that fight, bro.
But you know what this shit is too? Here's the saving grace, and I'm not even joking. I'm dead serious, right? I do not want to see Frankie Sanchez fight, right? And the saving grace is that he's not gonna get fights, bro. He's not gonna get fights. He's not. One, because he's on PBC Island, and two, because there's no financial incentive. Who's gonna fight him? He's the reverse boogeyman. Like, Hrgovic is the boogeyman, and he's the reverse boogeyman. Like, nah, if it was some money in fighting you, we would do it, but there ain't no money in fighting you, bro.
I think eventually you're gonna be asked, Julius. They're gonna come to you and they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, are you interested in paying $75 for this new cool pay-per-view that we've got on between Andy Ruiz and Frank Sanchez, coming to you in late 2022?"
Nah, you know they never fight. They know so fighters. They won't fight each other. If anything, you know what they might do? Charles Martin versus Frankie Sanchez on pay-per-view.
On the undercard of Andy Ruiz versus Robert Helenius.
Oh shit! No, on the undercard of Luis Ortiz versus Irritable Bowel Syndrome.
Let me tell y'all something funny. Like, I know a guy, right? I know a guy who's a legit boxing expert, right? I won't say his name. I won't say who he is. He's just I know him real well. He actually made the comparison that he's like, hey, you know who Frankie Sanchez reminds me of after the Ajagba fight? Like, no, who? He reminds me of a prime Jimmy Young.
What?
I'm not
boxing expert.
That's what he said,
bro. What?
You know. Let me say something real quick, right? Jimmy Young was a spoiler of a fighter. I'm gonna say this, but you can compare it. Okay, if that's what you're comparing, he's spoiling as much as Young did, but Young was actually a master at engaging in the pocket and spoiling you on the inside, not from range running around. Young would come on the inside and pull your arms so you couldn't throw shots and shit. Very fucking different. Young was more like a spoiler similar to like a Hopkins or a Ward, right? He wasn't like a spoiler like Rigo or Sanchez who are running around for 42 minutes having a dance.
Well, you know what the other thing is? Look, and I'm not, Rigo was the boogeyman. He was the legit boogeyman at Super Bantamweight for a time. But
in his prime, yeah.
In his prime, but too much was made of the Donaire fight. That's the other thing. They're like, I get that he was ducked and all. I get it because he was ducked. They did duck him, but like, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers got to stop acting like he beat the shit out of everybody. He beat the shit out of Donaire, bro. That's who he beat the shit out of. After
Yeah,
that,
and
he fought.
Well, he did have entertaining fights as well. Like, people do forget there are actually entertaining Rigo fights on foil.
What?
Yeah, like the Hisashi Amagasa fight. The Amagasa fight is
but that's because Amagasa.
Rigo got dropped twice in that bitch, bro.
Listen, Amagasa was a super bantamweight Nakatani, bro. He's just
absolutely
a big doofy, come forward ass motherfucker for his division.
Yeah,
he was 5'10.5".
Bro, how the fuck was that dude making 122?
Oh my god!
Hey, ask Brandon Figueroa the same question.
That motherfucker.
Or Ray Vargas.
Hey, y'all. Speaking of Brandon Figueroa, I just noticed something with the WBA rankings at featherweight. He's ranked number 2. Is he making a move up there? Brandon Figueroa is he?
Yeah, he is.
They were saying that he's going to, but I've heard that negotiations have opened up between a rematch and him and Fulton. I'm down.
Oh, was that right? I'm oh shit. Okay.
I thought Fulton was going to fight Daniel Romar.
No, they've said that there was like 14, 15 articles all over like the boxing places the other day, man. Fulton versus Figueroa too, possibly happening.
Can I say this? That fight was not entertaining enough to where I want to see a part 2. I'm gonna be real with you. That fight was real sloppy. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
Well, Brandon made it sloppy.
Yeah. I don't like watching Brandon. That's why I say that. I really don't like watching Brandon.
You liked watching him against Neary.
Yeah, I like watching him knock Neary down, but it's like remember how Coley looked before he got with Shane McGuigan? That's kind of like like yo, you too big to be this close to these motherfuckers, bro. Like you big for nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all want to know? No cap though. Y'all want to know what the best part of Fulton Figueroa was when he showed Brandon's sister in the audience.
Oh yeah, man, she's a bad motherfucker, man. Bad motherfucker.
I guess I'm the only one here who actually really liked that fight, huh?
No, I liked it too.
No, I'm gonna be real with you. I really didn't like that fight. I'm being real with you. It was sloppy. It was like it was just like the Neary fight. Like I thought the Neary fight was gonna be good, but it ended up just being some sloppy looking shit.
It is. It was very sloppy, but I thought the work rate, the power of some of the shots landing, some of the skill, especially like from Fulton on the turn and everything, trying to separate distance. I thought it was a very, very nice fight. I really did. I loved it. You can categorize it as sloppy. Sloppy can still be good, bro.
Maybe have another look.
Trust me on that.
Okay, speaking about big ass motherfuckers, what is next for Fundora?
Erickson Lubin. They ordered it. The WBC ordered an eliminator.
I like that fight.
I like that fight.
All I gotta say is Timber.
Yo, funny shit. I think Lubin's a better boxer, but I think he's gonna get caught.
You think?
Against who?
Fundora.
Oh, the dude who got a robbery win over Garcia.
Yeah, that guy. That was an awful fucking fight. Oh my god,
that dude couldn't keep a feather-fisted Garcia off him.
I don't know, bro. I don't like Lubin's chin. I'm being real. I don't like his punch resistance.
I don't like it either. But listen. He was able to deal with Rosario's power, right?
Yeah,
he was able to deal with that, right? Here's the thing: he's only been cracked fully by Charlo. Other than that, he's been in there with some notable guys, solid guys. But Fundora couldn't keep a feathered-fisted Sergio Garcia off him and should have lost. And I think got hurt a couple times from Garcia. I think Lubin's a big puncher, though. I think he's a good boxer, but I think he's a big puncher. I think Lubin's going to knock his head off his neck.
I don't know. But
Let's be honest. The Lubin knockout that suffered against Charlo, he leaned into that punch.
He did.
He did.
Yep.
That's why he got knocked
out. But Gaucher had him.
That's what I was saying. Gaucher, a non-puncher, hurt Lubin. So
yeah. I see him getting knocked out. I'm being real. I see Lubin
but
getting
Fundora ain't no puncher either. But Lubin is a puncher. And here's the thing. This dude got hit and hurt by Garcia. Garcia ain't no puncher.
Bro, you forgetting what? Didn't he beat the shit out of Nathaniel Gilmore? Am I hallucinating? Fundora.
Yeah, he did, but that was Nathaniel Gilmore after like 18 wars back to back to back, and he was shot on weight drained, and he literally couldn't make fucking weight properly.
Okay. 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 Oh, it's gonna be a good fight though. That is a good fight. I ain't gonna lie. That's a good fight.
On 12 days' notice.
Somebody gonna get knocked out, and that's the good part. If it's Fundora, then let it be Fundora. If it's Lubin, let it be Lubin.
By the way, I found out something troubling about Tug's opponent. Like, y'all know this guy was 37 years old.
Bro, Tug, I told you they ruined Tug, bro. I told you they ruined Tug, bro.
Yeah, they messed him up, man. They fucked him up.
They ruined him like that. They shelved him too long, bro. Like you got a dude. He ain't even got 20 fights. Why the fuck is he fighting so? Why is he not fighting more often? It is what it is. Anyway, my ass is getting sleepy, so I'm about to go to sleep, gentlemen.
Yeah, same here, y'all.
Have a great evening, you guys.
All right, gents. Y'all take care. Have a good night, y'all.
Have a good night.